recently. Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Warrior's Way mindset training. I'm Rick. This is Andrea.
Good evening. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Good evening. Make sure to make tonight extra culty. Oh, baby, you're going to have to move that piece of paper. I can't read a single comment with that paper there.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Can't read a single thing there.
Feel free to share this live. Follow us if you are not. What's this thing doing? It says, did you see it? It had the finger and it was like, boop, boop.
Good evening.
Yeah, hello.
No, I have no idea what the finger thing is.
Yeah, I don't know either. But, hey. So, we haven't been live probably since last week, right?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
So, tonight we're going to get into some questions. We're going to talk about a couple topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just looking through. I remember I just did a recent thing I was writing on for Fight and Flight. And I don't remember if it was in olive branches or what it was, but it was in something. So I'm looking for my own writing.
Yeah. So, every time we go live, we answer questions that you guys may have. Yeah. So feel free to throw out some questions for us. Hey, Phil.
There he is. What's up, Phil?
Good to see you.
There you are, bud. I got a good talk with Phil this morning.
Yeah, I know
really
you
nice.
did. I started off my morning
right
before I left saying hello to Phil, so that was good.
Yeah. So I think we're going to get a little bit about, there's a few things that I see that happen. So this looks like it may end up being a little judgy. I'm not trying to be judgy. We try and stay away from blame, shame, and judgment. But when you start getting into some of the stuff, some of the observations may sound a little bit one-sided. But I think that you guys have watched if you guys have watched any of the videos that we have, one of them is called the olive branches, right? What is it called?
I don't know what we called it.
I don't remember. But there was one about olive branches. This is something that I want to bring up, because there's another thing too. We can get into belief systems and things like that. But I think on this one, I think it's a pretty big deal, because it gets into your fight and flight mechanisms. This gets into the reasons why we do what we do whenever we're in conflict. And let's kind of go into, you know what I'm going to do, babe? I'm going to go into our love system a little bit here. Inside of our love system is our basic needs that we have for love. And most of us don't actually know what they are. Whenever I ask people, what is it that you need in your relationship? Or what is it you feel like you're missing from your partner? People are like, I just wish that they would do the dishes. And you're like, that's not the dishes. There's something you need that's reciprocated, and this is why reciprocation is such a big deal in a relationship, that you guys are supposed to be growing or working to be better together, and something is missing. So you guys will have arguments. Now, how many of you guys have had arguments where it's super important to be right? Have you ever had that moment where you feel like you have to be right no matter what?
Yeah, or I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You make sure I know. So it's really funny when your ego and your pride get involved in the argument, because you start making sure that no matter what, I need to be right. I remember reading Dale Carnegie. He said, do you want to know what the secret is to winning an argument? Do you want to know the best way to win an argument? Do you think I should share with everybody the secret? The best way to win an argument is not to have one. There's a problem that happens when you guys argue, especially if you start arguing about being right. Even if you argue to the death about being right, even if you are right at the end of it, usually you've pissed the person off enough that they've lost respect for you, or don't want to hear from you, or don't like talking to you as much. You're kind of ruining the dynamic and the love of the relationship because you are more concerned about being right than understanding each other. So when you go this direction that I need to fight with you, expect it to start damaging the relationship, even if you're right. You guys are both fighting something, even if it's your ego or your pride. Now, this is where the fight and flight kicks in. It seems like, kind of like how messy people and clean people seem to be attracted to each other, or opposites attract, fight and flight seem to also be attracted. And so the problem that comes is when you start getting into these moments, when they're fight and flight, they start getting into amplified emotions because it's a person that you care about the most. You've given them the most importance and value in your life. When you've done this, you've also amplified the response mechanisms that you have in order to protect yourself. This would mean if somebody is a fight, expect to go to war. And if somebody's a flight, expect famine in the relationship. Have you ever seen somebody where even after you do the Dale Carnegie and you, well, not the Dale, I see you reading the thing.
It's not the same one.
Even after you do like the thing where you're like, we're going to have our argument, you have it out and you're right, and then at the end of it, and it is Dale Carnegie, that's who it is.
Yeah.
But that person gets cold. You ever see that person just be like, just go icy and real distant and get real, like just, they don't want anything to do with you? This is what happens when you mess with flight people. They start distancing themselves further and further, and the relationship gets colder and colder. And you thought because you were right, you're supposed to make it so that they now what? Appreciate you more or respect you more, or you should be more of the authority, when really all you did was the equivalent of poisoning your farm. You're not going to get a good crop this year because your farmland is pissed off at you because you put poison on it.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing you were right, though. Not really worth it.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. Your ego is not your amigo. We said put your pride in your pocket. Here's where the question comes in. If you're fighting so damn hard to be right, what part of you is not okay with not finding some sort of equal ground, or being okay with hearing their side without having to be judgmental, angry, or mean? Why is being right so much more important than trying to understand? What happens? It just poisons your relationship so that you can be right for what? What over what coffee beans are better, or which popcorn pops the fastest? Like, what are you arguing for?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those funny things that you don't really think about, the war famine aspect of fight and flight. But you have people who get angrier and angrier, louder and louder, and you have people who shut down more and more and get further and further and more distant until you start seeing people sleeping in separate bedrooms.
Yeah. Do you think it's more common for people to fight over a topic, or do you think people fight more about the fight itself and the communication from the argument?
It depends on the complexity of the argument. I know you and I argue more about arguing than we do about the topic. It's very rarely the thing. It's usually the communication that we're having. You know, so there's expectations and all those things that get wrapped up into that. But I think that when I hear most people, generally what's happening is there's something that happens to make it so somebody goes into war or famine mode, and from that point forward, all fights are terrible. Mm-hmm. Something happens. Trust is broken. Somebody's caught doing something not cool, or somebody was late too many times, or did something the other person had an expectation that they didn't live up to. And then from that point on, like, the relationship starts to die. And it's not going to be salvaged because most people, again, ego is not your amigo, will not just let this go. They're like, made a choice to start killing this relationship, and you watch it start to bleed out. And some of us scramble to try to just do anything to stop it from bleeding, but the damage is done pretty hard. And so they just refuse any medical attention that you try to apply because you're the reason that there was a wound in the first place. So blame, shame, judgment, people check out. They become more and more distant.
Yeah.
And then the arguments start becoming more and more frequent because you never had any closure or any kind of solace that was given from the original battle that happened to just kick the whole thing off.
And I think if we spent more time like repairing from the argument or working on the after effects of a fight, how much better things would be, because everyone's going to fight, and it's actually good to fight, right?
There's degrees of it. I mean,
well,
let's
not
having
like
disagreements
knock
and
each
getting
other out.
into it is fine. But I mean, like, yeah, it's good to. The thing is fighting with somebody who you care about the most is an inevitable thing. It's because you both have an expectation of what you believe love is, but you both can't actually quantify what love is, by the way. It's an intangible measurement system, but we'll get into that on another day. You both have a rough idea that neither of you articulate. You have very vague understandings of what the other person's expectations are and the agreements that they have. And somehow the other person is just supposed to be what you think they're supposed to be without a conversation. This is impossible, by the way. Yet somehow this is the expectation we have on the other person. My standard is that you need to be what I tell you to be. My standard is when I speak, you listen. My standard is if I say you need to jump, you just ask me how high. And they're like, well, I'm an independent person. I don't need to do that. I don't agree with that. And they're like, oh, we're going to have it? Oh, you're going to be anything except for what I made up you should be? Not cool, man. Not cool. It doesn't work. If you're not able to articulate what your needs and what you believe love is, how the heck are they supposed to understand it too? You both are making up imaginary versions of something that you can't explain, but the other person should just know how to do. Mm-hmm. I've seen this over and over again when I ask people, like, what do you believe you need to be respected like? Please explain it to me, as though I'm a genie and I'll grant your wish for you. And they're like, okay. Okay, genie, let's go ahead and do it. And I say, explain it. And they're like, I think it should be, they're supposed to, there should be some equal, what I need them to do is, I'm like, when I'm talking, like, don't interrupt, but then, like, they can talk, and I'm like, okay, this is already getting confusing. You think things should be equal, but then they can talk? How much can they talk versus you? And I've had a guy even tell me, like, well, I talk 80%, she talks 20%. I'm like, cool. Let's just go ahead and assess. You've been doing this system. How's it working out? He's like, it's not working. I'm like, okay, maybe that's not the way. Let's try and find a balance here.
Yeah. So there's a lot coming through
Sure.
as far as questions. So let's get to some of the questions.
All right. I know you guys have been typing.
Yeah,
who is
there's
this?
a lot happening.
Robert Jones has been busy. I see that one.
Yeah. He was asking, actually, let me go to Robert Jones for a second.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for commenting. Let's get into some of your stuff. I could talk all day.
He said, fights are worse when fought outside of our responsibility. I don't know exactly what that means.
What do you mean by fought outside of your responsibility? I guess I don't know what that means.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit more clarification there.
Sure.
Blind because it is really simple. I'm not sure. I may have missed something, Robert. Sorry. If you can retype that, that'd be great. Okay, someone asked, how do you move past trust being broken?
Okay, I was going to say, how do you move past trust? Don't move past trust.
Yeah.
How do you move past trust being broken? Mm-hmm. The answer is you do not. You do not move past trust being broken because that's a denial of the problem. In order to rebuild trust, there's a series of trust factors that have to be accounted for. What happened? Are you guys able to grow from that conversation? But you go into it. We had that conversation when it comes to trust. One comes up so much. We did a video on there. I did it on one of these and posted it up. And most people don't know that this is the answer to that. Here we go. The thing that happens is if you try and blast past it, this is going into a denial phase. This is refusal to admit what has happened. You don't talk about it. You stays unfinished. I'm just trying to go right past it. Let's skip what happened so that we can just be good again. But without reaffirming the vows or promises or agreements that you guys have as a team or as a relationship that's designed to grow and complement each other's lives, it's just going to leave a giant hole, just shot right through the heart, and there is no moving past that. There has to be the ability to be able to heal through that, but in order to heal it, you got to take the bullet out. And that's pretty much what it is. Imagine having a broken trust moment like you took a bullet. And it won't heal until you get the bullet out. But people are like, hey, listen, I didn't mean to shoot you. I didn't mean it. I feel terrible about it. I don't want to be associated with the thing that I shot you. Like, I don't like it. Let's just move past it. And they're like, I'm going to try, but but I'm still, I mean, this thing just isn't done bleeding. And you're like, listen, why do you always have to keep bringing up the blood all the time? I always feel bad about it. And you're like, because it's still bleeding. Like, it's not healing. I put band-aids on it, but it still bleeds right through the band-aids. Until you remove the bullet, this means accept the accountability for what it is and then rebuild all of the agreements that you guys have made promises to each other for. There is no such thing as move past trust. It's only reestablish it. Now, trust is a choice. It's people have said like you have to earn trust. I said, please explain. What steps does it take to earn trust? How do you do it? I'm very open to do it. Please explain that if I do A, B, and C, I will then have trust. It doesn't work that way. The person has to believe that they can trust you again and then choose to. Until that moment, it's all these qualifications that people make up on a make-believe system that has no measurement. It's just till the moment they go, all right, I will trust you again. But once you take a shot at somebody, don't be surprised if they flinch every time you grab your gun, even if you're not aiming it at them. It's just one of those things where you have to go through the steps as far as acknowledge, recognize, have acceptance, make agreements, then have the choice to make trust a big part of your relationship again, and then that grace period where you don't fuck it up. And that's where people really mess it up. In which case, trust can be rebuilt again, but it can't be moved past. There's a lot of people commenting. What do you got, babe?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to keep up. So Robert clarified. He said men are responsible, and I would like your opinion on this. Men are responsible are to protect, provide, promote, prepare, and pride.
Pride.
When the argument is against any of those, the women are taking power from the men.
Can I read that, baby? Thank you. Men are responsible to protect and provide, correct. Promote, prepare, maybe. I'd have to see what the situation's for this. And then pride. I don't know which part pride is meant for, unless you're talking about Pride Parade, and then I'm a majority men, I guess. There's women there.
Both. Yeah.
You were zoned out. Okay.
No, I was
that
not.
A joke.
No, I wasn't. I get it.
When an argument is against any of those, women are taking power from men. I think that when it comes to power, people don't take power. Power has to be given. So
respect.
Pride is respect.
Well, that wasn't him that said it. It was somebody else that said pride.
Yeah, asking. Yeah, in which case we
Okay.
get into the definition of respect, which so far it gets a little more confusing. Pride in our names. Let's see, we work to make our names proud. Okay, so as far as like status and achievement, success. Okay, being proud of your achievements and what you do. Okay, so like our identity in that case. My answer to this one is if anybody is trying to take your power, it can only be given. This is why I have a video that says you didn't lose your balls, you gave them away. Nobody takes your balls on these situations. She has to do things that I agree to in order for that to happen. Without you going, okay, then I'll do that, nobody takes anything from you. If you're the stronger male or you're the stronger one in the dynamic, it has to be given. And so in which case it's the accountability challenge of how much of your power do you give away? And then once you give it away, people don't like to give power once they have it. And so it's not going to necessarily work that way. Let's see if this is the same thing. How do you reestablish something that you don't understand how you lost it? That's a good question. Without awareness, you can't reestablish anything because you don't know what you're looking for. But as far as what Robert's saying, I would probably try and reestablish some kind of guideline here. The wife has to do her part to support the man. She has responsibilities also. Yes, but are you guys crystal clear on what those are? Because I've seen guys who say, I want things to be equal between us. I'll pay the bills, take care of the heavy lifting, do the dirty work, fix the cars, do all this stuff. That's what I do. I'll even take the garbage out and I'll make sure the kids are good. And they go, so she should be equal to that. I'm like, well, what's equal on your mind for you paying the bills and doing all the heavy lifting? What's equal on her side? Please make sure you're very specific so she knows, like, this is my part, this is your part. What's equal to that? Well, she needs to do things in the bedroom. So do you. So that's you're both having to put in work there. So that's already an equal thing. What outside of that would make things equal? If you're doing the protecting, presiding, providing, you're doing the promoting, you're working on status, you're trying to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, you're being strong, stoic, growing, and doing all of the dirty, crazy work outside and chopping down trees and doing all the stuff that she killing the spiders and the stuff she won't do, what's equal? And when it comes down to this question, so far I see guys all the time go, I don't know, just she be nice to me. It's not equal. You just want appreciation for what it is. Now, I don't know what her responsibilities are, but I would be very open, Robert, to finding out what you believe is equal to the list that you just made. What do you think a female's role as equal would be for all of that? The wife is just as important. She can't be the lead. She is the strength that makes the man. I feel like you just read a meme. I don't know what that means. Like, okay, maybe so, but I don't see how that works for equality in your dynamic, and I don't see how that makes it so you guys have anything that you can work with for agreements on there. It's just a really nice sentence. And I'm not trying to put you down. I just don't see how you guys could, like, if she told me this and said, like, a man is as important, she's the strength that makes a woman, or I'm the strength that makes a woman. I'm like, cool. What is my task then, or what's my role? How do I do it? Because I don't have enough information with that to have an agreement. So that's a nice idea, but I don't know what you're getting at. That's at least where I'm at on this one. It just seems like I don't know if he's trying to tell or ask.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Robert, if this is a scenario for you or just sharing your opinion and thoughts sharing, too, which is totally fine. Yeah,
of course.
She heals, she supports, she enforces, she is the heart. So I think from what I'm gathering, Robert, you're just stating.
You're sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The males. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing. Appreciate you, Rob. Yeah, I don't see a question, but good share. Fair enough. Do you see anybody who's got a question?
There's a lot.
Let's go.
Blue-eyed Southern boy says, "How do you reestablish something that you don't understand how you lost it?"
I already answered that.
You did. Okay.
But good to see you, Blue-eyed Southern boy.
Yeah.
Remember him being on here from before.
How do you get past the power struggle with your ex? I used to be a doormat, and now no means no.
Wow. Say that one again.
How do you get past the power struggle with your ex? I used to be a doormat, and now no means no.
I need to know who's saying no means no, Carmen. Is that you?
Yeah, he's saying, how do you get past the power struggle with your ex? I used to be a doormat. Now, no means no.
Like, he's saying no means no, or now she's saying no means no?
He is.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah. I'm asking for clarification.
Yeah, he is.
Saucy? Whoa.
Well, yeah, he is.
Okay, so if you're the one, if no means no, it seems like you're doing the thing to take your power back. I guess I really don't see the issue with that. It sounds like he's doing it right. If he's holding his boundaries and keeping strong on what would be healthy for no is no, it sounds correct already. So I guess I really don't know what part is, I guess, missing from that dynamic where you're saying no and she's still doing something, I guess. I don't know what that means.
Also, if it's an ex.
Yeah, it's your ex. Who cares? You don't work for her anymore.
No.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah. Any advice to get my wife to go or get counseling to recover from a past affair?
Depends on who did the affair.
True. Coyote killer, who was it?
Yeah, coyote killer. Did you do the affair, or did she have an affair that happened from a different relationship and now you're trying to help her heal through it? That is pretty important.
He did.
You did. All right, so just so I can, I only have a couple sentences of your life, so I know this isn't going to be fair.
And you're right, Robert.
It's not going to be fair. But when it comes to this one, if you're the one who broke her trust and now you want her to go to counseling to make it so that somebody else can fix it, I don't think that's going to work. Because it doesn't really work that way. You're going to have to really show her, make new agreements, because, some of these affairs, it may not be a one-time thing. This affair, I've seen guys who do 2, 3, 4 years in an affair, and then go, yeah, but whatever, it's over now. You're like, well, you were having your cake and eating it too for a long time. That counts. That's a lot of years of lying. It's a lot of habits that were done. There's a lot of things that were done to say, just like, well, since that fell apart, water under the bridge, right? And you're like, how many years did you look at my face and you tell me you love me and then go over their house? How many years did you do that? It's those kind of things where you can't just say, hey, I've been cheating on you, but now that that's over, you need counseling. You're going to have to reestablish the entire thing. And the first thing that I would establish before anything is she willing to do the healing with you? Without trust, I don't know what else you have in your relationship. And I'm not trying to be cynical or sarcastic. It's one of those things that if you don't have trust, I really would argue to hear what is the next most important thing to a relationship that has no trust. I honestly will be open to your answers. Otherwise, I feel like that's the answer.
Just really quick, I do want to give this guy a plug really quick. So Rick is, if you guys, this is the first time you've watched us live, I'm assuming you've watched the videos before, but Rick is a men's coach. He helps men. He runs several different men's groups that he produces the content for, does all the writing for, and these men get together weekly on a Zoom call, and they have each other's backs, and they're able to honestly have that support. Guys supporting other guys is pretty much 24/7. So if you want to book an appointment with him or schedule an appointment, it's free. The link's at the top. I'll also post it in the comments too.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome. All right. So my boy Axel says, I keep getting lied to. Then I blow up, I'm assuming because she's lying, and she lies because I blow up.
Okay. It's a statement. What is the question?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well,
my boy Axel, what's your question?
That does happen. That happens. Robert Jones, it says, can I join the conversation? We would love to, but we found out with people on this, TikTok requires you to have 1,000 followers before you can join a live. And so if you had them, I would love to talk to you. I would be happy to. That would be no problem. I think it would be cool to have you on. I'd like to hear your point of view because I see you're adding in value. I just don't know. Like, I know that the typing here is very limited, and so it makes it difficult to share your point of view. But you do have to have 1,000 followers to be able to go live. That's the only thing that would hold me back.
Yeah. My boy Axel says, how do I fix it? Trust issues. He said you covered that. So
yeah, the real thing is anybody answering, like, without trust, what's the next most important thing? Like, I really would like to know is, like, without trust, we work on what, communication? Well, how do you communicate with somebody you don't believe a word they're saying? Or is it honesty? Well, that's gone with trust, so it can't be that. Is it loyalty? Well, that's a part of trust. So without trust, you don't have loyalty. He said, let's see, Chipper, I know, oh, you know what? I tried to reach out to him today. I want to talk to him, but our schedules are mixed match. I know you're off after 6, so we're going to have to do an evening call, bro. I'm looking forward to talking to you, though. But he said support. Okay. If, like this guy's saying, like Axel is saying, he believes that somebody is lying all the time, how much do you appreciate the support of a liar? Maybe that could be it, Is being jealous not trusting? That's a good question. Jealousy is a part of love, and it's also something that's amplified because of it, because of how much you value something, you covet that thing. And so jealousy is mostly associated with love because of the amount of importance or value that thing or that person has to you. And so can jealousy be a part, do you say trust, like breaks trust, or is it separate from trust? Like, if you could see the word.
You and I are on different things because I'm holding questions, so I'm not sure.
Fair enough. Jealousy is a poison to your relationship. I'm going to put it that way. Because jealousy is a part of fear. And fear creates anxiety, which is all make believe possible scenarios. If you're make believing that somebody is going to do something that's going to hurt you, and you start having an emotional outburst about make believe scenarios of what could possibly happen in the future based on something that happened from someone who's not even in this conversation, it's poisoning the relationship. Jealousy is not a useful piece for you guys, and it only just creates doubt and creates fear and creates anxiety, even if none of it's real. I'm going to remove, I'm going to tell you guys how I remove jealousy completely. Like, as an Aries man, that would be like a piece of the puzzle for an Aries guy, is usually heavy on coveting. Well, I had to remove it completely. This is why any guys are more than welcome to take a shot at my girl. Feel free. Like, we've had guys shooting in the DMs. Go ahead. I'm not mad at you because I have a beautiful woman. She's desirable. As well, she should be hit on. She's beautiful. But if any guy could take her away from me with any smooth text message or some promise of whatever, well, that's not my girl, because my values and my standards are that me and my girl don't do things like that to each other. So if she ever was to step out and leave for somebody else's text messages, well, what am I fighting for?
Very true.
That's not my girl. My girl would never leave with some other guy at the bar or be going home and getting somebody's number so they can talk later. My girl would never do that, because we have agreements that we have a loyal relationship. So if I have to make believe all of the scenarios that could go wrong, even if they're not happening, well, what am I doing that for?
Yeah.
That doesn't serve me in any capacity. I think that people would even call it insecurity, the more that I would make up things that aren't happening that I should be angry about. Slow down. Do you have a guy or a girl who loves and honors and respects both of your values to be committed and loyal? If that's the case, be okay with it. And if they're the kind of person who would leave you for someone else no matter what are you truly fighting for? You don't need jealousy. It's not useful.
No.
So it's more of an acceptance of, if this person was to step out on you, they're doing that when you watch them. What are they doing when you're not? And if that's the case, you don't have trust in the first place. So what are you really holding on to again if you have no trust?
Yeah. Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
So it is so important to have those agreements even when you're first starting off dating, because I think like most people, you think, I'm getting into a relationship, we say, okay, we're with each other. I would just confirm that there's those boundaries or agreements. There's that there are, I can't get it out, geez, that there are those agreements with each other to say, okay, you and I are together. That means we are no longer with anybody else, right? I think it's important to start that off, because the last thing you want to do is get into a relationship and that conversation hasn't happened. I know this seems super basic, but have that conversation so that way both sides know, if that does happen, this is also now where I stand. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, yeah, the agreements are vital. Without that, and if you guys aren't specific on your agreements, that leaves too much room. I see the thing on here that says not jealous, but being territorial, I think, is a good thing. Let's just debunk that real quick. What is the value in trying to say, don't look at my guy, don't look at my girl, I'll kick your ass, don't do my things, don't touch my toys? What's the value that you're getting if the person you're with is someone you can't trust to take care of it on their own?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even being sarcastic. I really do mean, like, if a guy is hitting on her and she's not like, hey, I'm taken, like, leave me alone. What would happen if I'm not there? Like, she's just going to green light and go for it? If she's going to do that behavior, what do I have to be territorial over? She's the one who's breaking the promise, not anybody who makes the advances. And vice versa. If any girl takes a shot at me and wants to be with me, and I'm not putting a roadblock on that, like, hey, you're going to detour over to Brian, I'm taken. I don't have any interest in that at all. If she doesn't trust that I would put the kibosh on that, what is she territorial over? just keeping me away from opportunities that as soon as the leash is off and the gate is open, I'm out? What are you protecting at that point? It really is more beneficial to remove jealousy and territorial behavior because trusting is the only way to sleep soundly at night. But if you're trying to stop your person from having opportunities because you think they're going to leave, it's really just, again, you're creating false scenarios for something that's not yours.
Yeah. And it's not a good look. And this is coming from someone that I was very territorial. Like, I was territorial, control freak. Like, I did not want him and it comes from past stuff like all this other shit does, right? So very territorial. He's a very charismatic guy, so we would go out and he to me would look like he was flirting, and I was like, not having it, not having it, I don't like it. And I found myself getting so worked up that I found myself almost looking for it. And that was a wake up call for me because, to his point, if he's going to do something, he's going to do it either way. And I had to accept that in the moment. This was, I do think there needs to be agreements of what this needs to look like for the both of us, right? But it's, if we haven't had those conversations, I necessarily can't get mad either. And I can't expect him to act a certain way when we haven't even had that conversation. It has to be an agreement because I'm also not trying to change him either. And I don't want him to be someone else, right? Because then becomes a whole nother issue of resentment, and you don't want that either. So it's just be very straightforward and open with each other about finding agreements. And thank you, ladies, for the compliments. I saw that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I got a few on here. I got one I'm going to jump into while we're on jealousy. Though I didn't see who the name was, but they said that their guy was liking photos from other girls, and then she got jealous.
Yeah.
The conversation really does. Let's go back to the golden rule and back to trust. When it comes to the reason that somebody is giving somebody else that type of attention, going through and enjoying somebody else's bikini photos or their butt pictures or jumping in the air or whatever things he's liking, I don't know. When it comes to doing that type of behavior, what is the purpose that he's doing that for? Just because he likes it? Now let's go to the golden rule. If you're going through and finding guys that in most just generic opinions are like bodybuilders or some super billionaire photos or whatever, and you're liking all these photos of people that look more desirable than that guy or the guy you're with is he going to be like, this is awesome, of course you should be? Let's just be real here, ladies. You've got better shots at stuff than guys do. Guys have to take way more shots in comparison to women taking shots. So if you're making advances, your odds are going to be better than guys. Even if you have a high value man, you have more opportunities. That's just the reality of it. If you don't believe me, both of you download a swiping dating app and see who gets more attention. I bet you it's her every time. In which case, like when it comes to why are you going and showing attention to other people that are what? You think look better or who are beautiful or you want their attention to know that you gave them attention? What is the reason or purpose for it? And understand, like, try and like benefit the doubt first. Like, what are you doing? And sometimes it's one of those, you know what, that is kind of stupid. What am I doing? And sometimes it's like, well, I just really like it. Be careful of justifications. Be careful of the excuses. If they keep deflecting, and yeah, well, you like things, if they're doing things like this is generally not good trust tactics. Be authentic, guys. But you know what? I don't know why I was doing that. I don't know, habit maybe from before I met you. Just stupid, I guess. I don't know. I'm never going to meet this girl. I'm never going to talk to this girl. And I'm one of 10,000 dudes who are liking her photos. She's never going to talk to me. So what am I doing this for? I don't know. Good call.
Yeah.
It's kind of want to just have a conversation and make an agreement. Like, babe, I don't think this is really serving our relationship. Do you? Like, if you think that this is a benefit, maybe I'll just start looking up, like, some of these bodybuilder guys or CrossFit guys and just liking all their stuff. No. Maybe that'll help our relationship get stronger.
Probably not.
Probably not, guys.
I don't think we answered this, but where is the boundary for flirting, being disrespectful, and just being an extroverted person?
See, now this is a subjective question. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the terminology, subjective is somebody's opinion, and objective is just what is. So, example, if I said, this is red, this is white, that's blue. Those are objective. If I said, if you wear red, white, and blue, you're a dick. Well, that's subjective. That's just me making an opinion. But it doesn't make it true because I have an opinion. But what is just what is. So if I said this is blue, it is. If I said if you wear blue, you're smarter than other people, that's my subjective opinion. In which case, when it comes to what are the boundaries that you have if you're an extroverted person or a social butterfly and it's being labeled as flirting, I think it just comes down to your guys' dynamic and understanding with each other.
Yeah.
For me, I know that we've had our own disagreements on this.
Yep.
I'm an extroverted social butterfly. I will talk to everyone and don't care. But she finds, because of my charisma and the way that I talk to people, that I'm being flirty.
Well,
even if I have no intention
he
of
is being
ever
flirty.
having an advance at all. No,
So,
but don't do
yeah.
that to me.
No,
don't do that to me.
There's
I am telling you, I don't flirt, but you
Yeah.
label my conversation flirting.
yes, it looks from the outside that's being flirty,
Right.
but it's also like he's very handsy too, not like in a disrespectful
Not
way.
grabbing
So like
boobs
no,
or nothing.
no, but he just naturally is. When I met him, he was just saying, well, this is just who he is. So I can't take him going out and saying to a girl like, hey, you know, and if he does this, right?
Mm-hmm.
My first like old me would have been like, get your freaking hands off. Like,
But
why are you taking another girl, right?
Johnny
He's just-
says I flirted with him. He's
yeah,
right.
he flirts with men too. So this is just his personality, and that's something I've had to accept. The thing that I don't like, though, and I see guys do this, and we've had this conversation, is when you're out, and girls that are on here, and guys, if you do this, like, I'd love to hear this too, because when I was out the other day, this guy did this to me, and him and I have had this conversation. But you know what locking eyes is? Like, how long is too long to be staring at someone dead in the eyes when you're walking past them?
Again, I think this is a subjective
I'm
question.
not talking about you. I'm just talking about just in
Sure.
general.
No,
because
it's subjective.
Yeah,
Everyone's
for
in general
sure.
is a different answer.
Like-
some people say 1 second, some will say 2, some will
Yeah.
say 3, some will say 4.
Yeah.
Everyone's just has a different opinion.
Yeah.
But there is no like
It creeps me
it is
out.
it is universal that over 2 seconds you're an asshole. Like that I don't believe that. I think that people because like I lock eyes with guys and like here's the thing with guys too. You all know if we lock eyes for like a couple seconds, you know there's going to be some sort of head nod down because that's respect.
It was like the guy at church the other day, and he was like looking at him, and they both go like this, and I was like,
Yeah.
they both
That's-
had beards.
You guys want to know a funny thing with head nods? When guys are doing like they see each other eye to eye and they do the head nod down means respect. If you do the head nod up, that means what's up. What's up, man?
Until it's
Respect.
awkward. Me too. It's like this.
But that's subjective. For me, I don't get awkward, but you would get awkward, and
Yeah,
so
I
that
don't
makes
like
it so
it.
like it's different.
This
I don't think that there's like you have to do 2 seconds or you're bad. Like I don't agree.
no. Yeah, it's weird for me. That's just that's for me. I'm like I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable because I am also I try to be like overly aware sometimes of like I don't want to ever give anyone else like a different impression than whatever. But when a guy's with a girl or a girl's with a guy and there's that locking of eyes, like
Well, this
I
turns
don't-
into again the definition. What do you define locking eyes as?
so like if you and I were walking.
No. What do you think it means? What's the definition for
Like-
if we locked eyes? What does it
Like
mean?
if someone's
to you? What's-
walking towards us, and I'm like looking someone else dead in the eye and
What is
not
it?
moving, looking away.
What does it mean? Like, what's your meaning that you give it?
I give it the meaning of like checking someone out.
So if you look at
Like,
someone's
oh,
eyes,
you got my attention. Okay.
so if I look at somebody in their eyes, you have labeled that as checking out.
Yeah, locking eyes. Yeah.
Like, so
Now-
if I look at a dude and I lock eyes and we do a head nod, you labeled that as I was checking him out.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Sizing him up.
That's not sizing. That's not what sizing up is. I'll tell you, babe. I think it's fine that you have your definitions, and I'll accept
just-
where you are.
I just wanted to see
I-
if I may be the only one.
I don't.
know.
Well, I mean, it would only matter for our relationship, just like for their relationship. Like,
Yeah.
you really just have to go like, what does it mean? Now, my meaning is not checking someone out. I think that if you look at someone in the eyes, I see that as respectful. I see that as like, like, hey, I
The
just
nod is real.
notice the humans. Like, I think it's weird. Like if you and I were walking and this is us locking eyes, and I was like, like for what?
No, this is what
What do I
I do.
have to
This is
be
what I
odd
do.
for?
Okay, I like have to look away for a second.
All
Okay,
right, so
this
if
is
we're
me.
walking and
Yeah.
you're looking at me, I'll look at you.
And I'd be like
And
this.
I'm looking at you, and then you just look away. Okay.
That's me.
Now, let's do it the
I'm
other
like
way
this.
around. Let's do it the other way around. You ready?
Okay.
We're walking, and I happen to see you, and I go, and
Well,
walk by you like this. I have to be odd. I have to.
No, you don't have to
No,
be
I'll
odd.
just look you in the eye, and I go, okay, person, and then I go
Yeah,
forward.
keep it moving.
But I don't go like, I locked eyes with you. That means I love you.
No.
You're hot to me. Like, I
don't-
see people.
I just don't like.
That's okay.
I
don't
just-
have any association to a feeling for it.
I think it's more not like one-on-one. I'm talking more about like if a guy and a girl are walking together and the guy's checking out the other girl and they're locking eyes with another girl when they're with their other significant other, either sex, it doesn't matter. That's what I don't prefer.
You don't prefer.
I don't
fair,
like
fair,
it.
Hey, fair enough.
I don't like it.
I don't put the same label on that.
Yeah.
I think people just see each other. Now, if you start going like, we locked eyes,
I'm
can
like,
I get your information?
As I walk by, I'm like, hold on. Like, I could never.
But hear me out.
Yeah.
I put it as where my line is for me is as soon as you want to do more, like I want to get your information so I can reach out outside of this interaction.
Yeah.
I want to see more of you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe we should join a dance class together. We can do yoga or Zumba or something. And I'm like, who is this person? They're like, oh no, we're going to do dancing together. I'm like, what's going on here? Now we're pursuing.
Right.
Now we're doing things together. Who was that? That's different than I saw you and you saw me. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think it does come down to the intention. What's the intention behind it?
But if the person's like, no, I just saw them. And they're like, no, I said your intention was you like them. And I'm like, but I don't like them. I already told you you do, though. But I know that I don't. Yeah, but I'm not asking you if you do. I'm telling you your thinking and your feelings right now. Nope. You're making it up. I understand your standards for what you believe it is, but I don't believe it's the same. I just don't. I think that people can look at people. Doesn't mean anything until they go, I'd like to talk and know you and spend time with you and exchange information to do more of that, please.
Right.
Well, now it means something different. So we could all, that's the thing about it, though, is it's a subjective question. Your opinion is your opinion, theirs is theirs, and it's just being able to at least respect or understand each other. But my one thing in this would be to be very, very careful of how much of the other person's thoughts you make up for them. Mm-hmm. And so in this case, she says, if I look at somebody, that means I'm flirting and I like them. That's not what I'm doing. Yeah, but she made up that I'm flirting and that I like them. Mm-hmm. But I don't. Please don't make up the other person's thoughts. It's not a win. It's a straw man argument. You made up something that's not true to make them bad, and they didn't even do that.
Right. All right. Appreciate you can both disagree in a healthy way, and the goal isn't to change the other's mind. Johnny says that. Johnny Gregg.
Yeah, Johnny
83.
Gregg.
Thank you.
One of my boys.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Gregg's one of my guys.
Yeah, nice. There's a difference between just glancing at someone and checking them out. Yes, there is.
Yeah, and like we've had some conversations on that. I think it's one thing too. Like for me, I think we have a very different opinion of that. I think it's one thing where if you go like, all right, I see that person, okay, and you go like, damn, gotta get me some of that. Oh, that ass. Yes.
My red flags are like, no, we're not doing that.
Now you're giving way more energy and way more like I'm giving it. Look at that. Like now you're like, okay, we're being ridiculous at this point. But I don't think that if there's an attractive guy and you like happen to see the attractive guy, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck was that? Excuse you. Did you just look at that man for longer than I think that you should have?
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that. I don't agree with that.
No,
you can look. I'd look at him. I'm like, damn, that guy works out.
Yeah, not saying that I don't ever look at people. Of course, out in the public you'll see people, but I try to be, even when you're not around. I think I've trained myself and not like you've ever even asked me to do this, but there's something inside of me that just is. I try to be as respectful as I can, even when you're not around. Like, nope, that's not what you do. Like, I don't know. There's that thing inside of me. Like, I just.
That's your own standard, which is fine. I agree with your standard. Do whatever you want. I'm just saying I've never ever like required you to do that.
No, that's why I made it clear. Like,
odds are, if you saw some dude who's worth looking at, I'd probably like, what's he doing? Like, I don't care. I don't have any of that thing. You can check out whoever you want. Until you want their phone number, I don't give a crap what he's doing.
No, you're the only sexy man.
I don't care.
That I look at.
There's a good question I just saw, like something to do with rejection.
How do you deal with being rejected?
You want to know? I have a cure for rejection. This is a confidence answer. All right. If you guys are writing, I'm gonna give you an answer to something that's actually pretty beneficial for everybody. This is the formula for confidence. I'm gonna give you, so if you got a pen and paper, like, this is what you write down. There's 3 C's to confidence. The first one is courage. Courage is the C that you use whenever it's something that's going to be socially risky, which it could require rejection, it could be embarrassment, it could be social humiliation. There could be some sort of like, all right, this is going to be, this could go really bad. She could say no, or I could make a fool of myself public speaking, or whatever it is. But courage is when you see something and you know something is scary, or it could go totally wrong, but you know what? I'm going to face it anyways. Courage is a skill. If you have the awareness of this is a courage moment, am I going to be courageous or not? That's when you get to choose, like, I'm going to go for it. Go do the Mel Robbins, go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, let's go. And you just go for it. Courage. The next part is certainty. Certainty is the second C. Certainty is, if you're rejected, you make a fool of yourself, you get embarrassed, somebody says no, things don't go right, something blows up in your face. You have survived so much worse than this. You will be okay. This will pass. This is no big deal. Nobody, they may laugh for a minute, but then everyone's got their own problems. They will forget about everything. It doesn't matter to anyone but you. So have certainty, because if you're watching this video right now, you have a 100% survival rate. This means every mean thing that's ever happened to you, every abuse, every abandonment, every horrible moment, every rejection, everything you've ever been through, you have survived it. You're a survivor to this point. You just survived a pandemic. Congratulations. You're a survivor. Have certainty that rejection or embarrassment or somebody laughing at you will not kill you. You will be okay. You'll survive this. You will make it. Certainty. And the last one is competency. Competency is how much did you practice? How good are you at a skill? Rejection, I have put under the category of a skill. Do you want to know how you get better at rejection? The answer is, get more rejection. I'll give you the example. I used to work door to door doing, like, I had survival moments where I had to sell coupon books door to door. I even sold Comcast door to door doing win-back sales, which is very difficult sales. When I used to do this, the formula was, for every 10 doors that you knock on, if you're having a good day, 9 will slam the door in your face, 1 will buy. Which means if you want to sell 10, you need to get 100 doors, 90 of them are going to slam the door in your face, and 10 will buy. This is the perfect scenario. Let's just say perfect scenarios don't happen very often. There are some days that you have 100 doors and 100 rejections. Now you do this every single day. This is thousands and thousands of rejections. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, just for value's sake, because I want to make sure that I have put the correct amount of value on my rejections. I have been rejected thousands of times. How much has my rejections in my life affected you? Do you remember ever having a bad day because of my past rejections? I would really like to hear if any of you, this has affected your life. I'm going to foreshadow a little. I'm guessing they didn't even know they happened. I'm assuming that my rejections in my life have not affected you in any way because you were doing your own things. Now, if that's the case, my rejections don't actually matter. So I don't have to actually hold on to any pain from rejection because rejection is not important. You guys didn't care about my rejections, and each one that I got didn't do anything to me except for I just didn't have something that I didn't have before I asked. Nothing has changed. So the cure to rejection is get more rejections. Now I'm going to give you another quick comparison to people who get into their analysis paralysis for rejection. You've got your big brains out there, the people who are going to try to beat rejection by getting better. So I'm going to give you a success example. Let's say you've got somebody who is highly analytical, super analytical, and they're going to measure and study every single thing when it comes to shooting a basketball. And they're like, I'm going to shoot the basketball perfectly. And they figure out all the things, the perfect headband, the best matching outfit, wind conditions, the lighting is just right. Everything is perfect. And they'll shoot and they'll do 10 shots and they'll get 7 out of 10. That's a 70% success rate. Like right now, they are awesome, but they got to make sure they do it just perfect. And they won't shoot their shot unless it's under the correct conditions to keep their win percentage at 70%. But then you have another guy who is not concerned about percentages, is only concerned about every shot is just me learning how I'm going to be better. And he takes 1,000 shots, but only has a 25% success rate. Well, if we're looking at who has the most shots made, one guy who has a 70% success rate has 7 baskets. And the guy who has a 25% success rate has 250 successes. Who's more successful, 7 or 250? It doesn't matter if you got a high percentage if another person just has so many more. Miss the shots. The more shots you miss, the more shots you still make over time. But if you're trying to find a relationship and you only asked 2 people, and you got 1 to say yes, but the date didn't go well, you're at a 50% success rate. But if you ask 100 and you have 25% say yes, you still have 25 dates. And it goes way better for your odds of having success beyond that because it's not just one person you're working with. You have 25 opportunities. Almost all of these are not going to work, but maybe 1 will. Way better odds, though.
Yeah.
So when it comes to rejection, the cure is rejection. And when it comes to confidence, it's courage, certainty, and competency. Practice, practice, practice. The better you are at it, the more confident you'll be at it.
So a couple comments. Ray says, I feel like with most guys, it's more of a pride and ego thing, in my opinion.
Sure.
Eric says, I always say if you're rejected, you are no worse off than you were before you asked.
You can't
That's
lose
fair.
what you don't. You can't lose what
Yeah.
you don't have.
And then Robert said, I worked myself out of ever worrying about rejection. I am more of selecting who I want.
I feel like Robert's my 7 shots out of 10 guy.
Yeah. What is
I don't worry about rejection because I only talk to the ones who talk to me.
He said,
Have you seen my beautiful
Yeah.
beard? Yes, Robert.
He said, what is more important, make yourself or make someone make you?
Make yourself. Make yourself is more important because then you can be better for them.
Yeah.
You have more to give if you work on you. Is that it?
Yep. Oh, nope, there's more. Okay, so sorry. Sometimes I like to read the question before I say them out loud because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Sometimes if I just go right in. So, yeah, that was okay.
What's
a
up,
friend of mine.
Snorlax? I see you.
Yeah, a friend of mine helped me and was telling me, "Hey, man, if you don't talk to her, another guy will." That's true.
That's
That's
a
true.
fact. That's a fact.
true. My girlfriend has the same opinion. It's a numbers game.
Well, I mean, there's still skill involved. Remember competency. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's still going to be like you can't just take one shot. Take a bunch of shots, but every shot makes you better at your shot.
Yeah. So what's to describe yourself with a song?
Don't stop believing.
That's so good.
I'm from Detroit.
That's true. Yes, you are.
What's the thing?
Do you want to know what mine is?
Yes, I do.
I will always love you.
Aw, it's very sweet, babe.
And I sing it well.
Yeah, you do. You have the voice of an angel.
A sweet, sweet, sweet angel.
Yeah, it's sometimes listening to you sing, it's like I don't
It's
know.
so beautiful when the kids have their teenage friends over. I
Yeah.
sing for them, and they laugh so hard.
Oh, it's
so weird.
It's like it's like if Jesus and Fergie had a voice mixed together. It's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! So silly.
It's a little Step Brothers reference.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. I was gonna say The Rock. It's THOCK. Let me say that after 7 years trying to figure out dating game is a complicated game. So-
There are rules. I think a lot of guys are just trying to play it their own
Ryan.
way, or they're
Yeah.
trying to play it based on what she is saying. And guys, I'm just going to tell you right now, what she wants changes all the time. So it's best to be authentic to yourself than it is to try to be what she's trying to tell you to be, because what she wants at one time of the month will be a different thing in the later time of the month. So different.
Okay, Josh.
Oh no, what happened to Josh?
It's not good.
Oh no.
Guys want to play safe.
Please read it out loud.
Yeah,
babe.
it's okay. So Josh, supposed to get married in a month. I just found out my woman was talking to other guys on Facebook.
Is there more to the story?
No,
That's it?
I hate it. Yeah.
Well, Josh,
What are you gonna do?
can you get a refund on some of that stuff? I mean, I'm gonna, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to silver lining this bitch. I'm going to do it. Josh, you are about to sign a forever commitment to somebody who is not going to be committed to you. They obviously do not share the same values that you have as loyalty. We had a whole trust talk at the beginning of this thing. Without trust, you have nothing. In which case, I am personally going to go from a different angle, and I'm going to say thank you to your ex-fiance. Thank you for showing her true colors before you put 10 more, 20 more years into somebody who's going to be talking to other guys on Facebook. Thank you for saving you plenty of heartache and time and resources and investment in the good years of your life that you were going to invest into somebody who does not share the values that you have for loyalty and love and trust. In which case, thank you for saving us a divorce. Thank you for not putting him through a decade of being cheated on. Thank you so much for saving Josh from just years of being shit on.
Yeah.
Thank you for exposing who you really are. And thank you so much for not putting Josh through just brutal, brutal divorces, stuff with future kid scenarios, and putting those kids that potentially would have come from this person who wants to talk to multiple guys, which you don't know if it's your kid or not, on Facebook. So thank you for saving Joshua. Thank you.
Additionally, Doxy says the next time you dump her, you're also going to lose your house. Do you get what that means?
No, what does it mean?
So that means if you go and get married to her,
yeah.
and this happens again, this time you've signed up and it's legally married, and you also lose a lot of other things. That's a very valid point. I don't know if you knew how strong that comment was, but yeah.
Well said, brother.
Sign a prenup.
Don't sign a prenup. Remember, you guys got to rebuild trust before you put a marriage down. If you're going to rebuild trust, I don't know what you're going to build it on. Like, she can't have social media. I don't know what you guys are going to even do. What's the agreement? Like, you guys have to only have one account. This account is shared from us. If you comment on this, we both see it. So is it something like that is the only way? But then if she's already operating under this shady mechanism, she'll just create another account you don't know about. So what do you have without trust? Again, I think it really comes down to in your relationship.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are you fighting for?
He said I wouldn't have known if I hadn't been looking. that part's tough too. Yeah.
I mean, all right. I mean, it's not unfair, but at this point, we're kind of past that spot. We're kind of past that point to be able to have like what's the right way to do it. I think we're past that. But you just showed me that video of that like guy and wife, and the guy was like, "Give him your phone and let's check out your Instagram DMs," and the girl was like, "No problem," and then like deleted some messages, and then was like, "He's like, what was that? What was that?"
Yeah, I've told Rick for a while we need to do a video on like encouraging people, not necessarily encouraging, but having people like us swapping our phones, right? And what does that look like in a healthy relationship? But we both believe that it may stir up. It's not really going to serve people. It's going to cause more issues probably than anything. But there is a video, and this guy's on TikTok, and that's what he's doing with people. Like out in the mall, he grabs up a couple, asks them if they're married, asks them if they trust each other. They swap phones. And there was one really cute couple. I didn't send you this one, but this one was really cute because they weren't hiding anything. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so. That's so and so's wife's like, oh yeah, that's so and so." Like, it was really cute. The first one I sent him, the wife was like hiding her phone and like deleting messages, and they're like, "Why are you deleting that message?" She's like,
"I didn't do it. I didn't delete anything."
So there are a lot of, I know this sounds crazy, but there's still really good people out there, loyal people that want to be in relationships for the right reason. To have to spend your time with people that are going to do that kind of stuff to you. Ugh. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, and for us, and like we did talk about it because we don't have any trust. She's got all my passwords and she's in on all my email stuff. And I don't care. She can check any of my stuff whenever she wants. I don't care. I leave my phone out all the time and she knows the passcode. I'm not even concerned. But as far as like that trust aspect of it, there's two ways on that thing. For us to do a video over doing that, though, I work with men, and I don't work with men who are doing shady things and want to continue doing shady things. They hate working with me because the accountability for what we do is maximum. And if you're not authentic and you're not going to be accountable to your own decisions, you're going to hate me. Yeah. You will not like that I challenge you on everything. In which case, if we do this video and people start going, give me your phone, and it starts making fights for people, it's not my job to expose anybody. It's not my job to do that. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's on people's dynamics to be able to do it. My suggestion would be, if anybody wants to do it in a healthy way, just in case it needs to be done correctly, it's one of those things where you kind of just surprise each other and go, "Babe, I'm having a weird moment. Maybe I'm being insecure. While we're sitting right here, can we go through your phone together and you can show me that I'm not crazy?"
Yes.
And if they go, "No, I don't want to do that," or they start being real weird, or they start like, "No," and what do you want to do that for? That's probably a big indicator that the reason you're feeling like it's a little weird is because that's not the right, like that she's doing something a little shady. But if it's like, "No, we're good," like go ahead and like check out your messages right now, or like just go ahead and open up your photo or whatever you're in. I don't know. Check your Instagram DMs. What do you got? Like it's one of those things where if you do that and they go, "No, I don't want to do that," that's probably your red flag you're looking for. Again, without trust, what are you working with? Yeah. But if you go behind her back and you go through her stuff, or she goes through your stuff and has some sort of suspect thing like, "Hey, love you too," and like, "Who is this bitch?" I asked, "Whose message is this?" You're like, "It's my aunt. What are you doing with my phone?"
Well, I've already messaged her.
You're like, "What's going on here? Why are you messaging my aunt? What's going on?" And you're like, "Oh, you were going through my phone without asking. Now you just broke my trust when you should have just asked, and I would have been happy to show you."
Yeah,
if that's
if that's a scenario, I've done that before. Of course, not with you, but
I don't care. You have my passcode.
When I know, I have no need to. But when I was married, that happened, and I had a gut feeling, and someone just said, one of the guys was like, "Yeah, trust your gut feeling." It's true. I waited till he fell asleep, went through his phone, and I was like, "Oh, what's happening here?" There sure is a lot happening here. It wasn't funny in the moment, but
in hindsight.
Hindsight.
Oh, 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 oh. She went from that guy to this guy.
Yeah.
Listen.
I did well.
He's doing much better now. There's a lot of bumps in the road for us to get to where we're at.
Yeah.
But in any case,
okay.
The trust thing for you, Josh, sorry that you had to go through that, but on the other hand, kind of not sorry because it could have gotten a lot worse. So kind of happy for you to have so many more years and way more money than you were going to have investing in someone who doesn't appreciate you fully. So good luck, buddy.
Yeah. Amy asks, wait, I think Phil was talking about divorce rates. We'll get to that maybe in a second. Amy asked, does it mean anything if a man is sharing his financial status with you? He's not bragging, and his goals.
It means he's proud of himself. He's had to most likely work very hard to get what he has. And it's no small thing. It's not a secret that women are attracted to safety and security. And so being able to have the big bank is a safety security aspect when it comes to being able to vet the value of a man. Because if he's exactly the same guy but has like $20 to his name versus exactly the same guy with $200,000 in the bank, one is a lot more secure to invest in. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it makes sense that he would share that with you because he wants you to be attracted to him and proud of him and choose him over other guys. And there may be other aspects of him that he's not as strong in, but he's got the money part down, so I'm going to flaunt my strength. That's where I'm going to go. Just like if you were with a bodybuilder with no money, he's going to be like, you know how strong I am, I'll keep you safe. Yeah. Same thing with a guy with a bunch of money who might not be a bodybuilder. He'll be like, not the toughest dude, but I'll give you a better life. Which one you want? You know, you got to play your strengths. That's all he's doing. It sounds like he's playing his strengths. Good on him. If he's got it, flaunt it, bud.
Can I share that from a women's perspective?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You go. I got to get some water, baby.
Okay, so this is something I do want to share really quickly because I have always been very career-driven, work hard, very proud. I relate to men a lot of ways as far as, like, for a lot of men, their work and their profession is, like, who they are. That's their identity a lot of times. I was that woman. Like, my career, my profession, like, this was my identity. It was the only thing stable that I had in my life, and so I connected to it, and that's what I did. So I was always very proud of it. I still am. But when I would date people, or even when I was married, and people would say, what do you do? And I would always be so, proud to share. And so here I am many years later and realizing guys could care freaking less.
We don't care.
What?
Don't care at all. I don't care about your PhD. I don't care about your status.
But,
I don't care about what work you do to choose you.
To take care of yourself. Like,
we don't care.
I realized, like, things that I used to, like, have pride in. Like, I can take care of myself. I can have my own things. I can take care of my kids. All this stuff I was so proud of. And I use it almost like as a, like,
a dating resume or something.
Like, here's what I do. And guys are like, I really could give two shits.
Are you going to give me some of that money? And you're like, no, I'm not giving you money. Well, then I don't care what you do.
Lesson learned. That's not really something that this is what I've learned so far. The guys really don't care. That's not something that they're like, yeah, I need to have an independent woman. Guys need to feel needed and wanted. Yeah. And so if you have that flex as a woman, like,
there's a natural part inside of us too, where, like, men have the burden of performance and women have the burden of beauty. And that's usually how people are vetted as far as what's attracted to them. And so women are societally more pressured to be pretty. Like, that's usually where a lot more of the attraction comes from, is from beauty. This is why the beauty industry does so damn well. It's because that's where the attraction is. For guys, we have the burden of performance. This comes from finances or strength or achievements or status. And those things become attractive. If you don't believe me, I will blow your mind when it comes to what they've searched for people with fantasies. Google did a search to say, what are people attracted to the most? What do they look up for their fantasy? When they did the men's side of it, it was about a 5-minute study. Turns out it's boobs, butts, and faces, and whatever. It's going to be just what's pretty to them and porn, and that's where it ends up going. Because guys aren't giving emotional attachment to that stuff. It's just That looks nice, and that's how our sensories are. We like symmetry, we like smells, we're very basic when we start looking at things. Women, that was a fascinating study. What women would look up for their fantasies fell more into the idea of the apex alphas. This means when women were looking up fantasies, they would have, like, the main characters were like vampires, werewolves, surgeons, pirates, and billionaires. 50 Shades of Grey gets real boring if the billionaire is actually a janitor. Not very exciting unless it's some super apex version of whatever. But because he's a billionaire, now doing freaky shit sounds awesome. But if he's regular Bob,
Right.
well, Bob wanting to do freaky shit is a weirdo. You know, and so this is where that fantasy has to come in from being chosen by some sought after alpha. I don't know why werewolves is sexy. I don't know what that is, but there's something to do with some untamed Beauty and the Beast thing. Something where, like, to have the apex monster that's powerful and uncontrollable and ruthless, but also can be tamed by only you because he loves you. You get it with the Twilight thing. Twilight's a perfect example. You got the vampire, the hot vampire and the hot werewolf, and they're both fighting over this girl who's pretty, but aside from that, has literally nothing else exciting about her. She is average across the board, and even her looks is maybe slightly above average. I can't even go like, wow, she's amazing. It's like, I mean, yeah, she's all right, but she's average on literally every account. Yet this apex alphas are arguing over, I can't get over this regular girl. I can't stop thinking about her. And it's like the most sought after guys, the most dangerous, most powerful, most unattainable, all choose her. This is a weird thing when it starts getting into, like, what makes people attracted to others. And so if a guy is going to try and do his very best to appear as something more than Bob, the regular guy, and he's like, I actually have status or power, or I'm a CEO of a company, or I do this thing, I'm a boss of some way, I have achievements, and I'm something more than regular, I'm sought after by other women, and I choose you above all others. Well, that Beauty and the Beast thing where the prince is tamed and becomes a prince because of his love for you is awesome. So there's more fantasies they looked up that went that direction versus going, women have been really just Googling dad bods because that's what they really want. Listen, this fad is nonsense. If you could have, like, these dad bods not look like the dad bods that you're talking about, I would argue that, like, even as us guys, we would trade. Like, if they're like, hey, listen, like, if you could just do the same eating habits and the same workout strategy you have, but you can look like, you know, The Rock, or you can look like not The Rock. Like, which one would you do? I'd be like, well, if I could look like The Rock and not have to change anything, sign me right up. But, like, you see all these guys, the big change, like, guys would change. I'd trade. I'm in good shape and I would trade. I'd be like, I'll take The Rock. Let's go. Like, okay. Guy's a monster.
Like, can we keep your beard, though?
Yes, we're keeping the beard. And I don't have to shave the head.
Can we keep your face, too?
Sure, we're going to just put this thing
and
on
your arms?
Yeah, Rock versus
Andrew,
the boulder.
Maybe just you?
The boulder.
Yeah.
That's funny.
There's some really great questions. Okay, here's one, and I know this one comes up a lot, so maybe you can help. Calanio Bray, I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Let me see the name. Oh, Kalani. I was hoping you said Claudio. I was like,
no.
Is this the guy from Coheed and Cambria?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How do I get through to my future wife that the lack of intimacy and affection is hurting our relationship?
How do I get through to my future wife, but the lack of... Baby, let me read it, please. How do I get through to my future wife
that the lack of intimacy and affection is hurting our relationship?
So you're not married yet. It's interesting you say my future wife that way. It's like a possessive thing. How do I get... So my future wife... that the lack of intimacy and affection is hurting our relationship. So if you guys are engaged, here's the thing about this, guys. Let's be real. Can we just be real? I'm going to be really real with you. When you get married, the expectations change completely. There's a whole new status level of ownership and expectation that gets amplified. Expectations is an imaginary version of what the other person believes you should be. Should is the important word. It has nothing to do with are. It is should. And when they start owning you makes it so the expectations of you need to change now. You need to be different. You need to do things different. You need to do this. And when that changes, I'm going to tell you, the expectation to serve you in the same way that somebody serves at the beginning when it comes to sexual, like being sexual or how much effort goes into the bedroom, when somebody is caught and there's no longer effort required to chase or to sustain or to maintain, most marriages, not all, most marriages, the sexual activity declines. It goes down because the expectation and need for you to have to give so much, like the blowjobs go out the fucking window. Sex starts to become less common. There's more excuses that come up because you're tired because of the kids and all of the life and long day at work. It goes down. So if you're struggling right now with being able to have intimacy and you think that getting married will make it so there's more intimacy, there is no statistics supporting it's going to get better. So the question is going to turn into, at some point you guys were having good intimacy.
Yeah,
that's why you got married or you got engaged.
Well, he says too. There's another comment. I try to tell her, but she keeps saying she's not the affectionate type, but she was in the beginning.
Right. This is very important for you. At the beginning, everyone puts in all of the effort to catch you. And then once they catch you, they don't do the same effort to maintain the dynamic as what made you attracted to them in the first place. This goes for both men and women, by the way. This is not just women do this. Both do this. Once somebody is caught and the safety and security is there that I commit that I will never leave, now the effort to keep them is substantially less. Now, at this point in your dynamic, there was a moment it changed. It went from she's this way to now I'm not affectionate anymore, but she used to be, which means there was some breaking point, some argument or some overshare or some vulnerable moment or something happened. There was an argument or something. Something happened that made her know, like she friend zoned you. Something happened right after we had our second kid. There's something in there. And I know that if I was talking to her, I would be digging around in this area of what happened during this time to make it so you no longer have any more desire or want to, even be intimate. This is I'm just going to blow you guys away here. Intimacy works both ways. Women also like being intimate. So when they say, I don't like a basic human need, there's clearly something else that's in the way. And you're like, damn it, why didn't I just put the maintenance in with somebody who was worth it?
I know. Oh, exactly. It's so true.
Now I'm just getting used. Damn.
Yeah, Claudio, this is what I would tell you. So he was saying, gosh, I work all day, pay all the bills, take care of the kids, from another relationship and take care of probably mine. This is what I would say to you. Book a call with Rick and talk through it.
I'd love to meet
It
him.
may help.
Sure.
Yeah, it's free. The link is at the top, or I'll tag you in the link here too.
Yeah.
And Phil, I gotta say, you crack me up. Phil's like, oh my God, yep, staying single, woohoo, just effing around. I have no idea. Cool.
Also, I just want to say, too, if you guys want to book a call and talk to us or join in with our guys, I'm just going to let you know what we really do. I work with men. We put groups together as in units, just like the military, and our guys train together to learn the skills that I'm talking about. All of these things are skills. We learn to fight doubt. We learn to fight fear, depression, anxiety. We beat anger, denial. We get into distractions. We get into excuses. We figure out your goals and belief systems, your identity. We break things down and make our guys authentically the men that they're meant to be. We give a support system that's super strong. The link is at the very top of the page. Now, my buddy Eddie, who's been doing this with me for a few years, is fantastic. And he opened up his calendar to make it so the demand that we have, you can get to him way quicker. And so the link goes to where you can see that my calendar is the big one. But underneath that link is a link to talk to Eddie. I've got calendar links that I'm into next month already. It's hard to talk to me for at least a month or so. But Eddie is one of my main guys.
He's awesome.
And he's really good. If you want to, you can book a call with him like as soon as this week. And you can be right in, and you can be working with me and in the groups and working with guys, because I can only get to so many calls in a day. In which case, if you talk to him, tell him your story, he gets to meet you, you meet him, and he's like, you're a good fit for what we do. He'll make you the offer to join the group, and then we see where this goes from there. But right now, I'm running all of these groups. I'm training all of these men. And if you want to be a part of that sooner, go ahead and click in, and you can click on the link underneath my calendar, and you'll get to Eddie's calendar. And you can be in as soon as this week, next week, and just be not waiting a month and a half to talk to me.
Let me just, that was a great explanation, of course. But I do have to praise this guy for a second. I know there's a handful of guys that are on here that are either already part of the group or have a call booked. I will tell you, I sat through a call yesterday with him. I usually, when it's guys and guys, I don't. Like, this is none of my business. I also don't have the greatest advice sometimes. So, but when it's couples, there was a couple that we had last night. The guy ended up signing up for the group. Time after time, you guys, people say to him, I've been in counseling for this long. I've been in my relationship for this long. We've been to couples counseling. We've been to individual counseling, whatever the situation is. And I say this pretty much every live. The guy gets on the call sometimes and he's tense, right? So he's like, well, I don't know what to expect. I'm not really sure. Then they find out, okay, Rick or Eddie, they're actually like real guys. Like,
We're super authentic.
They're super authentic.
We're this way all day.
There's no blame, no shame, no judgment. Such a great credo that he has in this group. But I can't even tell you the amount of times where guys are like, I've been in counseling, or I've tried to figure this out myself, and I've gotten nowhere. In less than 20 minutes, 15 minutes usually, he's able to nail it. Like, this is what you're going through. This is what you need. Now, they join the men's group, and now they realize, oh, shit, the stuff that I've been dealing with my entire life, or the stuff I've been trying to work on, I realize I'm not alone anymore. Mm-hmm. That's where the power also comes in. And this guy, I mean, is a genius when it comes to helping men, truly. So it's a pretty incredible thing. And I know Phil's been saying this, like, Phil knows. Phil was on the
Phil's in
talking
our
to
group.
this morning.
He's in our Thursday group. I see Chris Miller's on.
Yeah. So if you...
He's in our next group that's coming.
I would encourage you, even if you can't sign up for the group at this time, because he's going to decide if you're the right fit. I will tell you, book the call and just have that conversation, because sometimes a conversation is life-changing for some people.
Yeah. We all have our stories, and a lot of times me knowing more about you makes it easier to at least show you which path would serve you best. Ultimately, it's yours to walk. But it's easy. It's much easier if you know, hey, it's the one right there. And you're like, I didn't even see that one. You're like, try that one.
Yeah.
Phil and I just had a talk this morning about that. I was like, here's the paths. He's like, man, why didn't I see this stuff? Like, I agree.
Yeah. It's so good.
You're the man, Johnny. Actually, Johnny, I got some stuff for you, too. Jonathan, I got some stuff for you. I got another chapter thing for you, bud.
Ray says problem is figuring out where to begin.
Yep.
Right?
Correct. That's why people call me. The link is at the very top.
If
you go to the top of our profile, it's in the link in our profile.
I'm gonna post it right now in the group.
To make it simple too, if you want to go to another page that we have too, it's just www.thewarriorswaymindset.com. That also gets you to another page for our website stuff. So there's a couple different ways. The link at the top goes to one landing page, and then we also have a website at The Warriors Way Mindset. So there's that one also. But both will get it to where you can book a call with Eddie or myself. But again, if you want to go faster, Eddie's wonderful. He's faster. If you want to know who Eddie is too, he's in the podcast. And so if you go to our podcast link and listen to some of our podcasts on YouTube, it's under the choice. Yeah. You'll learn who Eddie is. He's very, very intelligent. To give you guys a couple foreshadows of possible future videos, not only is Eddie one of the guys who helped me figure out the definitions for happiness, just this Monday I very proudly was working with one of the groups and we figured out the definition of love. And it's not the way that you think it would be. It was actually very, very, very brilliant. And so I can't wait to share that with you guys in the future. That will probably be a video at some point. I can't wait to hear the guys go, yeah, and the girls go, I think it's something else.
Yeah, so links to the top. Someone asked the percentage of divorce filings. It was Phil, 80% are filed by women. Yeah, the majority of divorce filings are definitely filed by women.
The scary thing about this is they also did a study to see how many of these women had backup plans way before they filed divorce, like guys in the wings or a backup guy or something in like the background. And it was well over 50% of women already had their plans set up to be with someone else before they left. Which a lot of these guys that I talk to are just blindsided. They're like, I was just working, paying the bills, trying to take care of the kids, and now she's gone and has a new boyfriend within 5 minutes. What the hell just happened? No, that guy was there way before that. Yeah. Like, there's a lot, the girls, they set themselves up for success. And the guys are just blasted. And then they're put through court, they lose everything, and they're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. I think that's one of the most heartbreaking things that I've seen. And no marriage is perfect, right? There's always both sides that are accountable for something, or someone could have done something right. But my heart really goes out to men when it comes to divorce. My divorce was not like that. I actually was the one that was like, here, what else do you want? But I know that's like super rare. But the guys really get screwed over in divorces.
Oh, I've got guys getting destroyed.
It is awful. If I was, I don't even know. Like, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see what these guys go through when it comes to their kids, when it comes to every aspect. Honestly, they lose everything. And women a lot of times don't seem to care. It's like kicking them when they're down.
No empathy.
It's sad. It really is sad.
You want to know, here's my opinion. I'm going to tell you guys, this is a little bit of a judgment. This is the saddest and meanest thing that I see that happens to guys. I'm going to tell you right now, the stuff sucks. And some of these guys are being used just to destroy their retirement so that they can take his retirement money. Not cool. Not cool. But that's all stuff. And as guys will accumulate and make more stuff. That happens. It's stuff, it's money, we'll make more, we'll get more stuff, whatever. The thing that I put into my evil category is when women use the children as the weapon to hurt men. And they will use kids, the thing that this guy loves more than anything in this world, and will use his love to hurt him. They want to hurt him with love. And to hurt somebody with love, I believe, is evil. I do not find this kind. I don't think that this is good for children. I think that if you take the thing that somebody loves and you want to twist a knife in it, that's
how dare you?
Evil. There's no justification for evil when you use kids as weapons to try to hurt someone who loves them.
Kids are way too innocent to even. The issue is between the parents. How dare you use your kids to get some type of leverage? It hurts the kids. Like, I agree with you. It makes me furious. It really does. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna hurt your significant other by withholding love from your kids.
They use the love of the children to do damage to them. to take everything they have, to kick them out, to make it so they can't see their kids unless it's on their terms.
And there's so many stories
and
like this.
There, don't get me wrong. There's some deadbeat dads out there. There's some bad dads, but some of these really good dads who just want to be good dads are with women who know that, and they use the fact that these good dads love their kids to hurt them with the kids. They just want to hurt those guys. These are good ones.
Yeah.
You're hurting good dads because you're selfish.
Yeah.
You're doing evil with something they love and that loves them.
Yeah.
There are bad dads. I don't stick up for bad dads, but there are good dads right now who are fighting tooth and nail to have just time with their kids, and they can't even see them. Good dads.
Yeah. And I think some dads are labeled bad dads because honestly,
because women don't like him. I don't like him.
Well, yeah, of course, but there's so much of a fight, and like it gets. The good dads will put everything they have into it, and sometimes it comes out and it's like every other weekend, like.
Well, but what I'm talking about is these women who are cheating on good guys for a long time, and then when they divorce them, they take the kids and say, you can't see the kids.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, I was paying all your bills and took care of all your stuff and did all the stuff. I'm not talking about any bad guys. I'm talking about good-ass dudes who are tucking his kid in every night, who are loving the children, who pay all the bills, who does all the dirty work, who takes care of all the stuff, gives everything he has to her, and she's been cheating on Facebook and cheating on him for a long time, just to say, now I'm taking half your retirement and I'm taking the house and you can't see your kids.
Actually, he doesn't owe you anything. That's how it should be.
I was just giving you everything I had. What the hell's happening? And now I can't see my kids, and all I want to do is be a good dad. There are good dads who are getting hurt, and I think that this stuff happening is going to break the system backwards to make it so it goes back to being even. Because all of you moms who stop dad, who is a good dad, from seeing dad, you're actually doing psychological damage to your kid because you're not dad. And you're hurting the kids. It shows. If you've got a good dad in their life, the more they have time with dad and you, both sides are important for development.
Yeah.
But if you remove one who wants to be there, you're actually doing damage to your kids.
Yeah.
Males and females. It's not just boys. Girls also love the nurture that comes from their father. It is important.
So important.
And if you're taking that away from them, you're removing structure that's good for just human development, for them to be good in life and society and situations and how to handle things, because they have multiple perspectives to grow through it. And if you're using the legal system as the weapon to hurt someone with their love, I don't know how God judges at the end, but I don't want to be there for that conversation.
I cannot. I can't even speak about it.
That's a tough one. It just falls under evil for me.
Because
If you use love as the weapon to do damage, that's as mean as I can think of somebody being.
Yeah. So this one comes up, I know, sometimes with your guys as well. Be Too Healthy says, my friend was a 2-time Olympian. She loved him at his best, then left him because he lost his mojo.
It depends on what mojo is at this point.
Well,
I'd have to know
he
what
was
that
maybe
means.
a 2-time Olympian, and all of a sudden, he's not working out.
She only dates champions, and if you're not a champion, who are you? Yeah, you see those ones. I think those are the gold diggers or whatever. The ones who are like the girls who would turn a guy down until he gets into his Lamborghini, and she's like, wait a second.
No, I don't think it's that. I think
what do you think it is? Go ahead, and what do you think?
I think it's what you talk about all the time. It's if there's a guy that's supporting his wife or significant other, and he's been the provider, and then he loses his job, and the woman's like, see ya, I'm out.
Well, he didn't lose his job. It's his mojo. But I don't know what that is. This is a very open, what's a mojo?
But I think it's the same. It's still the same thing.
What do you think mojo means?
That's like maybe lost his drive to do what he was doing before.
So he's not an Olympian anymore.
Maybe he's just not an Olympian anymore.
Right.
So I'm putting that in the same category as.
Having a job and being an Olympian is not the same thing.
Well, it's the same idea.
I have a job and I'm not an Olympian.
It's the same idea though. Like when someone's at the top, we want to be with them, but then when they go through a struggle, all of a sudden it's like I'm out. Like that's what the gist of it is.
Well,
but you talk about that all the time.
As far as that goes, I mean, like, listen, if I'll only be with an Olympian, if you're not Olympian, I'm out. I would say that that's like the mojo. Now, if he just went like, hey, I was an Olympian, but now I'm just going to be a different person, that's a different thing. He was depressed and struggling because he was trying to find a job. Is that what he said?
He was losing everything over COVID. Okay. He was depressed and struggling.
We talked about that with, you sent me that video with Mel Robbins when she was talking about her things too. Like when the guy is down, we are remember the burden of performance. This guy had to put everything that he had into one thing. So like he put everything he had into being an Olympian, and he was a 2-time Olympian. That's a big deal, not an easy thing. But now he's got to go back into regular life, and he was doing whatever he could, but it's a completely different universe than what he's put into. Now he has the drive, he has the ability, but he just doesn't have the success when you start off. And I'll tell you right now, as somebody who has built their own business, like you don't start off at the top. You don't. We've got years of us putting in work before this thing really picked up. You don't start off winning. You have to go through so much loss before you become a winner again. Just like the basketball thing. But she's like, if he's not making 100% of the shots, I don't want to be with him. It's like, no, you're going to have to miss a bunch of shots to get good again. And so if she's like, I'm only going to be here for the trophies, I'm not going to be here for the struggle, I still would put that under gold digger for me. If you're only going to be here in sunshine, but you're never going to be here when it rains, what kind of person are you? What's your character? What are you bringing to the table? Because right now, this guy's the prize, and he's trying to build something awesome. We have shutdowns that make it so his dream gets punched in the face, and you're going to be like, well, rainstorms aren't for me. See ya. Call me at the finish line if you ever start winning again. No. This is a good wake-up call. This is just like our boy Joshua. This is a boy like Josh. Listen, if that's the case, thank you so much for showing me who you really are. Thank you. When times get tough, that you showed me you will not have my back. Thank you when I see struggles, that you will not be a person who encourages me. You'll be a person who abandons me. Thank you for showing me who you are and how our values are not really aligned. I really, really appreciate you for showing me that you're somebody I should no longer invest in anymore. Because as soon as the going gets tough, you will be going. Thank you. Thank you for showing me. Because there are people out there who will stick with you, even when it's a rainy day. So, I'm sorry your buddy had to learn that lesson, but maybe we'll have to change the interview process on the type of women that he's dating to have a little loyalty. It'd be pretty nice. Anyways. Maybe it's almost 10 o'clock and you're just staring at the screen. Let's go to bed.
Yeah. Dad bod or father figure. That's funny. He's asked if this was a bong. And I was like, no. That's funny.
It's a genie, though. We're going to get him out here and grant your wishes. Let's do it.
Okay, let's answer a couple more.
All right, let's go quick. I'm getting tired.
We don't got nothing else to do.
We have plenty to do. These dogs are trying to get attention.
How do you deal... Oh, he was asking West Side Chipper, but maybe you can answer this too. How do you deal with an alcoholic that puts you down and belittles you? He
has to stop being an alcoholic, because odds are when Mr. Hyde shows up, it's not nearly as fun as Dr. Jekyll. You need to go outside, bud. Here, come on.
Yeah. I got another question for you.
Yeah, let me just put him outside.
Okay. You want me to just talk loud so you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So Phil says you make him cry and then you make him laugh. So we have 2 dogs. We have Aries and Apollo. And those are 2 dogs. We did have, unfortunately, we had another little guy named Leo, but he passed away about a month ago. He was our puppy. He got hit by a car. Very sad.
That's very sad. That's
I'm
not a
saying
good
that
day.
lately. I can't even.
Not a good
Yeah.
day.
We still can't talk about that.
Yeah. Do you want to go out, bud? Go ahead.
The old man. Apollo's the old man.
He is too, and he is. He is the
He's
old
like,
man.
is it raining? Not going.
He
If
will
there
too.
are treats involved, I'll get a treat. Then I'll think about going outside. Yeah.
What's another question we got?
How do you deal with the narcissist that belittles you and makes you feel like, wait, it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong?
Narcissists will always make you feel like you're doing. That's one of their things. Is you'll always be doing something wrong.
So guys are big on Aries. Leo, can't think of the name. Apollo was the other one, yeah.
So Leo was short for Leonidas, and so we were going with the Greek god thing.
Yeah.
So we had Greeks, and then like they didn't want Hades, and we already had a baby Zeus, and it didn't. Something else happened
We
with
haven't
that.
had the best luck with puppies.
We're not doing any more puppies.
We're not. We've had 2 heartbreaks. Like literally the last 2 years, we've had our brand new puppies. They both died.
Yeah, one was her old dog got food aggressive and attacked our puppy, and that was just out of nowhere. Never happened before, and just went food aggressive and killed him. And then this one, we were in the backyard, and he saw a rabbit or something and took off, and it hadn't happened before, but just perfect timing. He just ran right into a car.
And the person didn't even stop.
Yeah, so those were sad. Very, very, very sad. I'm not doing that again though.
Literally, having our pets, it was like, and I'm sure you guys that have pets probably feel the same way. It's like a family member that passes away. It's
Hey, Laura.
yeah, it's so hard.
There's Laura. What's
Yeah.
up, girl?
But
What's up,
astrologically,
strong, independent
him and
girl?
I are both Aries too. So
We're at different points in the spectrum for it. We have different moon signs. I'm a Aries, so I'm a
I'm
Mars.
an Aries Scorpio.
Yeah, so she's the beginning and the end all in one.
You're welcome.
Oh boy.
Here's a great question.
Sure.
What are the top 2 things you can do to be a better husband and man?
I think this is a difficult thing. All right, so if I just say better husband and man, I'm going to answer in a way I don't think that people would think that you would answer for the first one. If you want to be a better husband and man, put you first. They're like, what? How can this be true? When you put you first, every day, you work on your mind, on your body, your spirit, you work on you every day, and this makes you a better man for your wife and your kids. Every day take time to recharge. Every day get a little better than yesterday so you have more to give. To be a good man, keep working on being a better man. Don't ever get complacent. Don't ever give too much. Just keep adding to your cup so you can give more to them. It makes you more attractive to her, and it makes you show your kids how it's done, because kids will do far more of what you do versus how much you say. So my first thing would be, you put you first. How does that not come across as selfish? If you're listening to what I'm saying, a man who has more to give can give more. But if you put other people before you, you're not filling you up and improving, which means you're just pushing them up. And at some point, as you keep pushing somebody up, they become above you, and they start looking at you like, why aren't you as good anymore? And you're like, don't you see that I've given everything? And you're like, that's all you have to give? And you're like, I'm starting off my day at like 10% battery because I just give everything I've got. If you want my 10%, you can have it. But if every day you charge your battery to full, and then you can give as much as you can to your people, that makes it better for your entire family, because your family loves you strong, loves you intelligent, loves you having physical and spiritual strength. They love it when you are your best. You're more stoic, you're more present, you're more aware, and you're stronger to be able to handle some of the dangerous things. When it comes to protection, providing, presiding, you're better every day. That's not selfish because it makes it so you can do all of the things your family needs. But if you can't take care of yourself, how the hell do you take care of others? So if you want to label that man as selfish, I would probably argue you don't really understand your man, because that man will do anything for you and actually can do something for you.
They're asking, would this be the same for women as well?
It is different, actually. Guys don't require that. I think you should always be working on yourself too, but guys have a different set of requirements than women do. Remember, we're simpler. If you're going to invest a lot more of what you do, invest in in appreciation and encouragement. Simplify it down, ladies. Make it easy. You know, as when we're kids and us guys are like, look how strong I am, and look, Mom, I can jump off of this thing and I can pick this up. I can pick up the 2-gallon of milk or whatever. Look how strong I am. Like, whatever it is. That little boy is still inside of us. We still like to be encouraged. Why do you think the captain of the football team or the guy who runs a business or all these things is always trying to be like, look how good I am, look how awesome I am, and all he wants you to do is be like, I'm proud of my man. My man's the strongest or the smartest or the fastest, or he's great at making money or whatever he's good at. My man is awesome. And the more you encourage your guy, the better he will be. And the more you nag your guy, the worse he will be. Just like work. If you treat your guy this way with appreciation, then he'll be better. So it's different. But what do women need? It's different. They need a strong man who can give them safety, security, reassurance, and make sure that they feel protected, provided for, has your back, will stand up for you, can have all of these Prince Charming criteria you need. How the hell is that guy supposed to do that if he puts you first? It's an impossible task if he puts you first. Because I'm just going to put it out there, this is what my men have to learn. Ladies, they have done hundreds of studies to say, what do women want? So far, the conclusion is they don't know.
They're still making the video.
They've done hundreds of studies. Hundreds. They say it changes. Even on menstrual cycles, it changes. If you're ovulating or if you're on your period, you have a different thing that you want. You may want a beta man when you're on your period. You want an alpha man when you're not. It changes. And so if a guy is constantly trying to keep up with what you're saying you want in any given moment, he loses all of his authenticity. He becomes something that, because he sacrifices him being the man that you fell in love with to try to be what you wanted on a rainy day, you no longer find him attractive because he betrays who he truly is, which is not a sexy trait, by the way. Like, when these guys are working on their authenticity and being solid and strong and working on themselves to be the best man they can be, they show up as the best man for you. So for you, encourage your man, and that guy will fight a fucking lion for you. That guy, when there's a bump in the night, will put his life on the line to make sure you don't have to. That guy works on himself first so he can protect you better. So if you call that selfish, I think we have a different definition.
Yeah. So
I gotta close the door.
Okay. So someone was asking, how do you start putting yourself first when you've always put your significant other first? It's going to have me ask it again.
First, you
Oh,
have
got
to
it.
assess if it's working. If you're putting her first, is it working for your relationship or not? Because if it's already going great, don't change it. But if it's not going great, you have to start changing things. That echo's killing me. Sorry. Gotta fix this door. All right. So, when it comes down to that thing, if you're like, man, I don't have established boundaries, or I have to reprioritize, these are conversations where you'd have to raise your awareness of what it is that you want to do. This means don't be afraid to reset a goal. You want to get in better shape, or you want to read a book every month, or you want to do something to improve yourself, or you want to take up fucking yoga, I don't know. But find something that you go, I'm going to start working on me to be better. I'm going to find a new outlet. I need to find a release. I need to do something that makes it so I know that I'm growing as a man or as a person. And if you're doing this, if you're doing that, you're going to have to reestablish whatever the new boundaries or the new agreements are. So, hey, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing the gym in the morning. So I'm going to try and do that before you guys get up. If you get up before I do, can you just take care of the kids till I get home, and then we'll trade. You do your shower, I'll take care of the kids. New agreement. And they go, okay, yeah, sure, that sounds good. It's just you have to reestablish if you're going to add in a piece to work for you to be better for them. What is it so you guys can balance it out? Don't just go like, I'm done with the kids, I'm at the gym. Like, find a balance. What's the way you guys can communicate to have an advantageous goal? Because she's not going to be upset that you're taking care of yourself if you do it the right way. But if you do it in an abandoning way, that's just poor choices. Don't go like, I'm done hanging out with you. Where you go? Oh, I'm out hanging out with my boys getting better. I was like, well, you just left me with the kids here with no communication.
Yeah. Women don't. They don't. I would say, I don't even know what I'm going to say.
What was that?
Yeah. I would say I like to be the younger version of me. Like, oh, yeah, I like to be put first. But if he starts, like, and same for him, like, if we're up each other's ass all day, that would not work for us. Like, that's exhausting. I'm like, you need to have your own thing. He wants to have his own thing. I need to have my own thing. And then we come together stronger. It also gives us a lot more to talk about. So
it also makes me proud of her for doing her thing. She's proud of me for doing my thing. Yeah. Instead of just going like, well, we did all of the things together today, so I already told you all my stuff for the day. I would ask how your day. I would ask how your day was.
But I sat next to you all day.
Yeah, I was there already, so I know.
Oh my gosh.
So that day happened, remember?
I was there. Yep. Great. Let's go to bed, and then let's redo the day again tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds really...
Let's just keep doing the same thing all day long.
Groundhog
Every
day.
Yeah.
30K. All right, guys, if you guys are wondering, I know we got a handful of people on here. Phil is our #1 cheerleader. He's been hitting the like button since we got on here. He's gotten up to 30,000 likes. Can you guys help Phil out? He's about to lose a finger, and Phil has an injury, so he's only using his left hand. He can't use his right hand, so he's crushing. I mean, his left hand is going to be like a Spartan strong on this left hand soon. So if you guys can help Phil and hit the likes and just blow it up and get it up to like 50K so Phil doesn't have to have surgery on his left thumb after this, that would be great.
What?
You have to let the muscle out.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's funny because he's like, every time I'm taking a break, West Side Chipper, whoever it is, Chipper.
Johnny in there.
I shouldn't say whoever it is.
30s.
I know what your name is. It's like, okay, I got it. Like, the two have been switching off. So thanks, you guys.
Julio.
We appreciate you guys.
Good job. Rudy, thank you.
MPK has been commenting a lot. Sorry, we haven't got to a lot of your comments, but he said, can you talk about healthy boundaries for a second?
Okay.
It's so important to the man to put himself first in order to take care of his wife and family, yes. And then could you all talk about healthy boundaries for a sec?
Let's talk about healthy boundaries. All right. We have healthy boundaries. There's got to be limits to where, like, this is how far you have to understand yourself, where there's a point where somebody will ask or expect of you something beyond what you're willing to give. This is important for you guys to at least know yourself well enough to know that if I ask you to sacrifice something that's like one of your core values or a moral of yours or one of your principles that you can't sacrifice because it causes you just absolute anxiety getting rid of something that would make you feel honorable or trustworthy or valued, your values you won't sacrifice, like respect, like, or family. You know, you see people say, like, hey, listen, I don't like your brother. I think you should stop talking to him. Yeah, and you have somebody who says, that's my family. Like, you're going to tell me I'm not allowed to talk to family. Talking to family is one of my core values. And so my boundary here is I hear your request, but I have to decline that request because it goes against my values. And if you're the kind of person who requires me to betray my core values to be with you, then we don't share the same values, and this will only get worse from here on out. So you have a choice. I'm still talking to my brother, and I will not betray my family for you. Are you going to stay, or are you going to go? Because I'm not going to invest in somebody who wants me to get rid of my family. Because family is important. And if we started a family, that would be important too. And if you just didn't like our son anymore for some reason, said stop talking to our son, no. I won't sacrifice that value. Now, this goes for anything. This could be your manhood. This could be your friendships. This could be something where you really have to establish, are you really trying to make me betray my core values and my principles? And if you sacrifice something that you can't be okay with getting rid of, expect conflict, not just externally, but internally. You're going to start resenting yourself. You'll resent your choices you make, and you're going to resent them for even putting it on the table for you to accept it. Accepting those choices, I'm going to give you the perspective that ends up being the outcome, not my judgment, but just the outcome. If you sacrifice your values and morals for somebody's ultimatums, it comes off as weakness. It does not come off as strength or sacrificed or appreciated. You look like a punk, and you start getting treated like one, because there will be more ultimatums and more sacrifices until you are no longer yourself, and they go, you're a bitch. And you go, I did everything for you. And they go, well, now I'm not even attracted to a man who will betray all of his values. I'm not attracted to a man who will betray his family. I'm not attracted to a man who will get rid of anything that he found important in his life just because somebody asked you to. You have to make sure you understand yourself well enough that you do not betray your boundaries, because at least there you still have dignity and you're still attractive because you're a man who knows what he fights for. But if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. So you have to know yourself so you don't end up in that position. My suggestion, only give up what you're okay with giving up. Something that it's a mutual benefit. If you got a drug dealing friend that you knew since you were in 8th grade and he's no longer serving the dynamic, this may not be a good idea just for you guys anyways, because he's just dragging you backwards. But if this is like your outlet and your boy and your military guy or somebody who's always been there and has literally had your back, life and death, and she's like, get rid of that guy, hold your ground. This is one I will not sacrifice for anything. This is a real brother, and I won't. So that's one of the ones where, like, your boundaries, just know yourself, man. Know yourself. Take some inventory on who you really are and what your boundaries are and what your values are and your principles and your morals, and then don't flex them.
He's also asking, too, if couples don't share the similar values, is that a death sentence for the relationship?
No. It's okay to not have the same values, but it is important to understand when you're violating the other person's values. And if you're doing something selfish that hurts the other person, that's going to be your progress report to maybe treat them the way you'd like to be treated for your core values and respect theirs. Find new agreements and ways you can grow it with each other, but you don't shame them or put them down or judge them from them having their values. This is part of what you fell in love with them for. Don't try and take it away from them. It's a good question. What's this World of Warcraft was happening? What's happening?
He said this World of Warcraft live feed just got real.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't get it.
I would be an orc paladin.
Oh, gosh. Literally, he trains on stuff like that.
Not orcs, but...
Well, yeah. But I've heard those words
You
before.
would be an NPC, which is like a boss.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm an NPC.
NPC.
Live.
Yeah, you're like one of the unbeatable characters.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's a nerd
yes,
joke.
Yes, I am.
That's a nerd from my buddies.
Yeah, he's so good at nerd stuff. I am not. We played Dungeons and Dragons. Can I say that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it too nerdy?
We played it one day.
No, we played like 3 times, and the guy was like really into character and scared the shit out of me. He like yells because I guess this is what you do, like to play the character, and I was like, I was like, what is this? I don't know.
I'm the blacksmith, raw.
Like,
and you're like, oh.
I'm like, no, you're not.
fully
Your
in
name
character.
is Dan. What are you doing?
What are you here to buy?
Anyway, let's be fair. I was a good sport. I played it. Got a little scared for a moment.
You're not into that fantasy stuff, babe.
No, it's not real life. I don't get it.
But yeah,
There's a lot of people that do, so that's great.
But you're a very powerful NPC. Good job, baby.
Thank you. Everyone's like, haha, she doesn't get it. I don't.
It's okay.
And I probably won't get it later either. So.
I love you. Boys,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing?
Always wanted to try D&D. Yeah.
Started off as a barbarian. Now I'm like a barbarian philosopher.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm a conundrum.
Yeah.
My nerds out there, they get it. What's up, Andre?
Okay, here's the question. How to get my husband to help around the house more without sounding like a beep, or to start an argument?
What's it say? How do your husband to start a what?
How to get my husband to help around the house more without sounding like a bee, or to start an argument?
Here's where I'd start. Are you encouraging or are you nagging?
Wait, is NPC a non-player character?
What do you think that means? What do you think that means?
That I don't play.
What does
at
that mean?
all.
What is
I don't
that?
know.
What do you think
I was
that
like,
means?
yes, I am. I am strong character when I play.
NPCs are unkillable.
Yeah, because they don't play. I thought you were giving me a compliment.
I am.
Yeah.
You're the princess and the queen in the game.
I'm a proud NPC because I think it's trash.
You're the queen.
No, I'm kidding. Just kidding, nerds. Dorks or nerds?
Nerds.
Nerds.
Dorks
Just
are
kidding.
different.
Yeah, sorry, nerds. No offense.
I mean, there's some dorks that play, but it's mostly nerds.
That's fine. He's a nerd. He gets it.
I'm a nerd.
I'm a proud NPC.
You get it, baby.
I get it.
You're the queen in the game.
I love it. It's my favorite character.
You can't
when
be
I
killed.
don't have to play. Means you aren't be able to. Oh,
all right, what was the question?
Okay.
The nagging, or the encouraging? Listen, if you want a guy to be better, like, just figure out what the agreements are. So here's the thing. I'm just going to help you guys out. It's always a complaint that he's not doing enough. I think that here's a valuable lesson for both of you guys. Sit down at the table, do a Benjamin Franklin T chart, and have both your names at the top and put your contributions on the list. Put down, if he's putting down his 40 plus hours a week, here's all the dirty shit that he does at his job, and you put down your stuff and the stuff that you do, and just put down all of the stuff that both of you do, and you're going to realize, like, you both do a massive amount for each other. And how much gratitude do you really have for all of this list of shit you guys both do? Instead, you're going, you didn't fold the towels the way I like it. 3 folds, Henry! You're like, yeah, but didn't you see that long-ass list of stuff I do for you every single day?
Henry.
You're like, no, I want the towels. And you're like, fine, I'll fold the damn towels.
Yeah.
And so he folds the damn towels, and at the end of it, you're like, is this where your shoes go? Shoe rack, Henry.
Yeah.
And he's like, I work 90 hours a week, and then I come home and take care of the kids, and I just cooked dinner, and I did the 3 folds, and now it's shoes? It's one of those things where if you look at each other's list with gratitude instead of complaining, maybe you'll have a far more appreciation for each other versus disdain. Maybe you guys can work on agreements versus making demands, because demands are not agreements. And the more you try to make him sacrifice being the man that he is by nagging him into submission, the less attracted to him you'll be.
Well, she said she doesn't want to do that. So that's a positive that you're already decided. That's not what you want to do. One thing that I will say that's helped me in the past is, especially if these are like all of a sudden new things you want him to start doing, or all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I just decided that I want him to start doing a little bit more, but he never has before. Something that has helped me is to understand that if there's not an agreement, right, then now you're just expecting him to do it with no conversation.
Yes.
There's also things that he may just not be good at because he's never done it. and now you've always done it. Not saying that you should continue to do it, but there's no use in getting mad over it when it's something that he's never even done before.
He doesn't even know this
He doesn't even know that they
conversation's happening.
exist.
You didn't even know, like you were talking to Sharon at work, and she's like,
Yeah.
Kyle always does the dishes, and it's lovely. And you're like, Bill's never done the damn dishes.
But
I always do it.
But Bill, you know,
but
all
Bill's,
of a sudden, like, is doing all this other stuff that we don't talk about.
Yeah, Bill just built you an addition to the house,
Right.
but we don't talk about that
doing
because
the
he's not
dishes.
doing the damn dishes because Kyle does dishes. I didn't see Kyle build the damn addition to the house. Well, it sure would be nice to have dishes done, though. You know, it's like, are you missing the blessings to just nitpick about silly little things? You're missing the point of the relationship. The point of your relationship is not to make other people be something other than you fell in love with.
Yes.
It's to have somebody you can grow with, whom you want their life better with you as they want your life better with them. You guys don't complete each other. It's not your other half or better half. You guys are designed to grow and complement each other's lives. It's supposed to be better together than if you weren't. And if you're the party who is making it so it's not as good to be together, maybe pump the brakes a little bit. Maybe bring that back a little bit because you're bringing more complication than complimenting. Maybe appreciate somebody for the stuff they're doing versus telling them how they're not doing enough. That does not make people want to do more. Maybe pull that back a little bit. Maybe pull back just a little bit.
Even if you have the agreements as well, still show appreciation. And I know it's easy.
It's free.
And I think women tend to get into this more than men do, but I think as women sometimes we're like, well, he should be taking out the garbage. Like he said he was going to take out the garbage, and now I see him doing it, and I don't have to thank him because guess what? He doesn't thank me for all the stuff I do, and then
what about me?
You know what? Yeah, no. The more you appreciate your man, the better he will be for you. That's it.
It's that simple.
That's it.
We're not that complicated. The more appreciation and encouragement you give us, the more we do. The less appreciation and encouragement you give us, the less we do.
That's true.
Well, he doesn't do anything. Well, when was the last time you praised the fuck out of your guy? Well, I don't need to do that. We're married.
No,
He should have.
don't do
like,
that.
as soon as you do that, you're killing all motivation to do more for you. I don't think you ladies understand. Us guys are givers. We start off wanting to pay for the food, wanting to open your door, wanting to give you everything that you ever wanted, wanting to give you the house, wanting the white picket fucking fence, wanting to get you the dog that you wanted, wanting to give you the life that we can give you to make it better. And you're like, I'm going to take that. I'll take that nice picket fence. I'll take that new house. I'll turn this house into a home. I'll take that new dog and we'll raise that puppy together. And I'll take this. Women will generally be takers. Men are givers. We're natural givers. Now, this cycle is not bad, you guys. You guys think this is bad? It's been like that always. Men go out, hunt and gather, bring it home, and the women, they process and distribute. We've got a great team here. I go back, I get a deer, I bring it back, you process and feed the kids in the village. We got a good thing going here. We're naturally givers. And if you look at the guys who are sacrificing their bodies, their time, their energy, and all of this stuff for you, can we just get to like recognizing and appreciating that? Can we get to giving back, to going like, you know what, fuck, I got a good ass dude. Instead of going like, well, you don't do this.
And at the end of the day, when everyone gets old, no one's going to remember that one time he didn't freaking do the dishes. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares about that.
But he will remember that addition on the house.
Yeah.
Good job, Imaginary Bill.
Yeah. So MPK says, is this a joke? He says, wait, I hate when... Okay, please tell me this is a joke. I hate when my wife delegates my weekly chores.
No, you're goofing, bud.
I know what needs to be done. I'll do it. You gotta,
I think he's got to be embellishing. You're not being delegated weekly chores. There's got to be some kind of agreement for you guys to be teaming up here.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you as a woman, if I all of a sudden would start to give him a list of things to do, and I can get a little bossy sometimes, but it's like work-related stuff. I have my work mode, and he has his work mode. if I just started bossing him around and he started doing everything I told him to do, that is not attractive.
I also wouldn't do that.
So
I'd be like, I'll agree
MPK,
with
stop
you
doing your
this.
chores.
Yeah, you don't. Listen, I'm not saying don't do your chores. I'm
kidding.
just saying, like,
You don't need to be. You get it.
establish a boundary to make it so you're not talked to that way. You're not her kid. And if you start acting like her kid, she's going to treat you like it.
He said, I know what needs to be done, and I'll do it. There you go.
Let me go get the hammer so you can drop it. Thor's hammer. Got my Captain America shirt. I got this. I'll take Mjolnir.
Are you NPC?
No.
Well, I am.
Yeah, you are, baby. You're awesome. I'm down with NPC. I got a good
Yeah,
one.
you know me.
I got a good NPC.
I'm going to hold that very close to my heart. So MPK says,
Good job, Phil.
well, maybe I am, but I hate when I'm about to do a chore and she tells me to do that specific chore. No. Nope, you're not. Don't do that anymore. Don't let her do that to you. That's. Here's let me ask you.
There she goes.
I know I was going to do better.
You're good. Go for it.
So, and this is going to be the wrong advice because again, this is not going to be the best advice. But I'm just wondering what would happen. All of a sudden he's like, she kicked me out. First of all, don't leave the house. But if you flip the script and this week she's like, hey, like you're in there sweeping the floor and she's like, actually, can you just mop instead? You tell her, what chore are you working on? And if she's like, I'm doing the laundry, then you say to her, go ahead and grab that broom, start sweeping. And just see if she likes it, because it's the golden rule, right? Is that good advice?
No, she's doing the laundry. Give her a laundry-related task.
No, we're just gonna give her something different.
Like, while the laundry's in the wash, you're not doing nothing. Why don't you go ahead and fold those towels or make the bed? Let her know. You let her know what she needs to do. Why does she go back and chop wood?
It's the golden rule.
Why don't she go ahead and move that old washer from the basement upstairs while she's waiting?
No, we're all adults. We're not children. Sometimes I get it as we're joking.
Kidding.
But it is a little funny to me. I sometimes have a weird sense of humor.
Kind of joking.
That's what gets me in trouble, right?
Half kidding.
Right?
You let her know her chores. It's like, you're not doing a job? I got a job for you.
He's like, oh yeah, that would go over like a lead balloon.
Lead balloons are very useful for putting things at the bottom of the ocean, buddy.
Yeah, we're just kidding around.
We're goofing.
I can't even imagine if we had that dynamic.
Baby, there's no way. First off, I wouldn't do that to you.
No.
And it'd be nutty for you to let me do that to me. No way. No. I'd be like, if she came in, she was like, now get to the dishes. I'd be like, start over. Try it again. You didn't do it right. Try it again.
That's exactly it. So sometimes when we're in a goofy mood, which is quite often, but sometimes I'm in a goofy mood and he's not, or he's in a goofy mood and I'm not. So it's like a balance.
Oh.
But sometimes I get in these moods where I'm like, let me just hit him with like a.
She'll test me out to see if I'll still hold my boundaries.
And then as soon as, like, if we're in the office, I'm like, hey, this is what you need to do today. And like, but I'm doing it on purpose just to mess with them. As soon as that chair moves even a little bit, I am out of that room. Because he's coming for me. He's like, really? You want to play that? I'm like, no.
So we're really blessed. So she's got an issue where she hates being picked up. Like, not even hurt or thrown or just picked up off the ground. She hates it. And I will snatch her right up. And she hates just the lack of control because her control issues. She likes to be on the ground where she can control things.
To be grounded.
And I can scoop her right up off her, like, whatever she's doing. So I'm like, babe, you want to see how strong I am? And she's like, no, I'm done. I was just kidding. So I don't have to like go beat her up or nothing, but I'll scoop her up and she'll hate every second of being picked up. So it's just one of those funny things where I'm like, don't make me lift you up. You know I'll get you. She's like, okay. So it's funny, but she'll push the limits.
Feels like punk test never ends.
Yes, it happens all the time. I'm like, you sure you want to play that card?
And every time I answer, no, I don't. I don't really want to play it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. if we were doing like a thing like this, if this was what we were doing, and she's like, "Hey, how about I'm gonna hit you with this thing? I'm gonna hit you with it." I'm like, "You go ahead and hit me with that. Watch how fast I scoop you up." You're like, "Okay, I was just kidding, just kidding."
It's more like
That's what would happen.
It would just be like a little like.
She's gonna hit me with the damn thing and hit it and
It'll
run.
be more like a touch. It'll be more like I won't hit him, but I'll be like,
I'm like,
okay, just kidding. That's how it goes. That is truly how it goes.
It'd be a cheap shot, though. There'd be a cheap shot.
It always is. It's just enough to just be like, beep, and there's no like doing that. Why are all these men getting yelled at? This guy says I get yelled at because it's not when she says, or I do it on my own time.
Guys, stop it. Listen, I'll tell you right now. People yelling at you doesn't hurt you. It's just somebody. Listen, I'm gonna explain how blame, shame, and judgment work. People will try and shame you into submission, but shaming is just knocking the wind out of your sails or hitting you in the armor and knock you down, makes you stay still. And then when they start to pass judgment, like, why aren't you doing this? You're not good enough at this. This isn't good enough. You're doing not enough. You do too much of this and not enough of this. What people are doing is trying to shame and judge you to change you into something else. But I'm going to give you the heads up. It doesn't work until you agree it works. Soak that in. It doesn't work. It's just noises in your house. And you're going to throw fucking shit at his head like he isn't going to do something at some point. Let me just clear up something here. Yeah. Let's just clear up. Hitting back because they're good men. Have agreed we don't hit women. At some point, ladies, and I know that good women are already like, bitches, stop fucking this up for us. Like, we really love not getting hit by grizzly bears. Can you please stop poking bears and lions? I really don't want this amazing privilege that guys decided we don't hit women. I don't want that to go away for equality. I don't want that one back on the table for equality. We're going to get trashed. It's going to be a 1 week thing. Let's not remove guys don't hit girls. Can we not fuck with that, please? When it comes to your dynamic, you can be strong and stoic, but if you have somebody who's screaming and yelling and demanding and trying to put you down and belittle you under the shield that because you're good, you won't do anything about it and I can say anything I want. Be careful how much you abuse the privilege that was given.
Yeah.
So like this person right here, she says men are lazy babies.
Well, she's saying that most women in my community hit back.
Yeah, sounds good. Listen, I'll tell you what. I got some guys. If you want to just go equal, You think guys are worried? I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not worried for equality.
I don't know if that's what she was saying, or they're
women
saying,
in my community hit back. Men are lazy babies.
Yeah,
it sounds like. Listen, I'm pro equal. This works really well for guys.
I am not. I don't want things to be equal.
Listen, I'm not trying to go and hit any women or nothing. I'm just saying if we as a society go equality. Equal sounds good. Guys are not complaining about equality. I'm just telling you right now. I have not met a guy yet who's like anti-equality. Just saying. I'm just saying. I haven't met a guy yet who's like, she's going to take half the bills, do half the heavy lifting, and do half this crazy shit that I do? Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I've already said that on a live. Yeah,
that sounds great.
I don't
want
things to be equal. I can provide for myself, but I don't want to build nothing.
Equal bricklayers? We're going to have equal?
If we're together, I don't want to pump my own gas. Oh. I will if I have to, but he pumps my gas. Like, I don't want any part of being equal.
We can knock chivalry right off the table.
When you say that you want things to be equal, you don't get to decide what is equal.
All dinners are Dutch from this point on. We're good. I'm solid with that. No problem. All dinners Dutch? We good.
You don't just, when it's too vague
to
say, I just gotta, I don't want equality. Ever.
No, no, right? No, no. If we as society we make divorces equal, it's just it doesn't matter. Everything's in the middle.
Oh,
I don't. It
it's
doesn't matter.
yeah.
No, if we go societally, hey, we just took off all of the
If
privileges. It's just person
if
A and
we
person B. That's
it
all
would
it
be
is.
a wake up call
Mm-hmm.
for women.
Oh my gosh! All you women who think that you're tougher than dudes, that goes away one day.
Independent
not.
women don't need men to buy food or anything. Okay,
Sure.
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure your relationships are doing awesome. I don't. If
Also,
you're happy, we're happy.
women
We don't need
and
you
one thing.
either.
Well, and that's a fair statement because I used to think that way too.
Completely fine. I support her.
Right, but men don't care about that either.
Not at all.
So they'll just say, "Oh, that's fine. Be by yourself."
Yeah.
Men don't find that as like a flex or like, "Oh wow, that's great." They don't care.
Yeah. Don't. Not even a little bit.
But I get it. I used to say that same.
Good
thing.
on you. Like I'm actually happy for you. I'm if you're happy, then I'm happy for you. I'm not
Women
even
have
against
families. We don't have to fight alone. Yes, men do too. It's the
Yeah.
same.
you. Yeah, men have families too.
It's fair.
we're if you listen to what I'm saying, is we're on the same team, but it's not equal. And if we work together, it's really, really awesome. But if anybody is abusing privileges that anybody else is giving for them, and this does go both ways, men and women, if anybody's being abusive towards like somebody else's kindness
Yeah.
or their generosity or their goodness, expect it to go away at some point. And that's for everyone.
Yeah.
And so if you think that you're prepared to have everything be person A, person B, and no longer men and women, listen, there's no guys fighting that. You think the guys making the court system equal, they're going to be against it? Nope, they can't wait. It's not what you think. If you guys are fed the narrative that like women do everything better but men have easier lives, I don't know how you're even putting those two thoughts in one sentence and making sense of it.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't make sense.
Don't get him started.
Don't give me hot. Don't give me hot. Don't give me hot over here.
You should probably go. You got chores to do.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, baby, I do. How many suds do you want on these dishes?
Men
much
can
Lysol do you
continue to
want?
pay our way. Well, that's contradicting what you just said, but we also understand you're probably like a bot or something, which is cool. It's totally fine. We will never bash someone else's opinion. You have yours. We also have ours too.
That's okay.
That's what it is.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a bot. I support what they're saying.
Or it may not
So
be.
far, I haven't been against what they're saying at
No.
all. Truthfully,
No,
I honestly haven't disagreed with that person.
but I'm just saying it's contradictory what was just said because it said I'm an independent woman. I can buy my own food, and it says,
Sure
well,
can.
men will pay our way anyway.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what's happening in that
That's okay.
conversation. We're good.
Anyways,
you guys are fantastic.
now red pill aside, alpha male lifestyle is good. Yes.
I think that these days there's application. I think until things get balanced out, I can see the red pill community gaining traction for sure. I can understand why the MGTOW movement is doing better. Honestly, it's not because guys are like really trying to be anti-women. It's because women are just abusing men and they're messing with their privileges. And so it's inevitable that if you take for granted or take advantage of a provider, well, why would they provide for you? I'm doing fine without you. If you're just with people who use you,
Yeah.
why would you do anything to just be hurt? It's just a system that's not set up. And if you look at the way the government has marriage set up right now, it's a bad business deal.
Yeah.
Which really sucks because the idea of marriage to say that like I'm committed to you 100%. I devote my life, my resources and everything that I am to us being together forever. That's a beautiful commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start putting the government involved in that relationship, it ruins it.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening today, is that we're giving government way too much power to ruin your marriage.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be a part of that. They're not supposed to be a part of it. It's made it so that guys put in all the risk and then they lose everything on a whim. It's not a fair system. So
Yeah.
why would guys do that?
And MPK said, I do think women want a man in control. I think it's more of they want a man to lead rather than be in control, is my opinion. Yeah, it's two-way street always. Yeah.
Everything's an absolute. See what I did with the words?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the two-way street, like, I think my sister was the one who told me this one. She's like, you know what's interesting to me? And this is before she got married. She's like, you know what's interesting to me? Why is prenup not the normal one? And, like, lose everything you got, not the weird one? Like, why wouldn't it be like, hey, listen, if it doesn't work out, we're good? Why is, like, if it doesn't work out, like, it's a freaking nightmare? Why isn't that the weird one? And I said, that's a very good question. Like, it does seem like ruin your life completely seems like a bad business deal.
Well, and when you look at the divorce rate at this point, I would say to do that. There's got to be.
It kind of makes sense business-wise.
It's a business. It's kind of a business contract.
It
There's
turned
money
into
involved.
one. The government's involved now. It's a business
Protecting
deal.
your own assets, because once you get married, all those assets are for both.
It's just a funny thought. You guys do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready for bed, baby. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I've had like 20 calls today. I'm ready.
20?
20.
Wow.
That's a lot of calls.
Yeah.
Our phone bill's astronomical.
Our landline was ringing off the hook.
Our landline.
We have so many messages in our answering machine.
Our internet bill just went through the roof. I had to raise the roof a while so it doesn't blow the roof off the place. Dad joke. All right, let's go to bed. Love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Some of you guys,
so
JPF Farms,
yeah.
and some of you guys out there, I'll be talking to you soon. Westside Chipper, you are on my list. I just got to get after 6 p.m. call so you and I can hang out, bud. But thank you guys for being here with us. Thank you guys for getting us going on some of these topics and helping us help you, which is really the reason we do this stuff. If you guys want to book a call with us, any of my men out there who want to be able to get into some of our support groups, get in with our training, our men train to be warriors and be leaders, providers, presiders. We train our men to be the best, most authentic versions of themselves they can be. Click the link at the top of our profile, sign up. You can either sign in with me, which is the big map, or underneath much sooner, Eddie can talk to you too.
Also, one last thing. If you, I see Hank just jumped on, but Rick will post up the live on our YouTube channel, which is at the link at the top. Scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Boop,
and Hank and I talk on the 4th, I think, if I remember right. I think we'll be talking very soon. So
on the 4th of July, lucky day.
Maybe not 4th, maybe 24th.
24th.
What's today?
Lucky day. I don't know. It's 22nd.
Yeah, so in a few days. So I'll be talking to Hank soon.
Maybe 21st. I don't
know.
We
just confirmed it. I was looking at the days, and he's like, we got the same day, and I was like, yes, we do. So we'll be talking soon.
Thank you, Kermit. Loves bacon. And
bacon.
Everybody for all the likes. We hit 54. We're about to hit 55,000.
Yeah, the 55K.
Yeah.
Hit some likes, and we're going to get out of here. But we do appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you guys so much for your love. We are happy to try and help you guys with relationships, perspectives, rebuilding yourself, getting back on your feet again, finding your own authenticity, and becoming the best person that you can be in a time of judgment, shame, blame, polarization. Right now is a time for us to remember that all of us are just trying to take care of the people we love, which makes us all on the same damn team. So we love you guys.
Yes.
Keep being awesome.
Give your thumbs a rest.
Thank you for being on World of Warcraft. And good night, Phil. Good night, guys. We shall see you all later.
Yeah.
Watch out, bud.
Yes. Officially NPC now.
Yeah, NPC, baby.